Hello, guys and gals, and welcome. Welcome. I finally woke up from my nap. I was tired. And I saw they dropped the information for the Diablo 4 stuff, so I figured we'll go over it. I wasn't particularly excited for it, if I'm being perfectly honest. But just because I'm not excited for it, doesn't mean I can't go over it and take a look at it. Why not? Let's just go over it and take a look at it. Maybe I'll be surprised. I know it's already aired, so technically you guys are ahead of me. And that means that you guys know information that I don't. So yeah. I was thinking I could just watch the Doojank first. It looks like it's going to be April 23rd at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Or that's the preload. Sorry, the preload. Where's the actual launch? The launch is 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. I got the Lord of Hatred Campfire chat pulled up. We may or may not fast forward through this. I'm not sure.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Lord of Hatred developer update stream. We've got a jam-packed show for you today, but the first thing you saw is a limited series collaboration between Jackson Guitars and Diablo. Jackson Guitars created a guitar to celebrate the launch of the Lord of Hatred expansion, and we've got one in the studio here with us today. This thing is absolutely badass, and that song you heard performed just now, it's called Celestia. It was written by senior composer Ted Reedy and performed by Cole Rowland. And if anyone can recognize where that video was shot, it's actually our original broadcasting room, so a fun little trivia for you. But yeah, this thing is magnificent. And that song, Celestia, is actually from our unreleased Lord of Hatred soundtrack, which you can pre-save on streaming platforms now. We have a jam-packed show for you today, but first things first, we have a Twitch Drops reminder. So you can watch for 30 minutes and get the Decaying Corona staff. And you can watch for 1 hour to get the Double Trouble Sword cosmetic on any eligible channel in the Diablo 4 category on Twitch. We've got an FAQ for you on the DevStream Announce blog, so you can go and check that out. And that runs until 11 a.m. tomorrow, PDT, so you got about an hour to get those Twitch drops. We did release the intro cinematic for the Lord of Hatred expansion. You know us, we're Blizzard, we love our cinematics, and this one does not disappoint. It really tees off the expansion and sets the tone for how this next chapter is going to go in Lord of Hatred. I do want to give a spoiler warning. There are some light spoilers in the cinematic, so steer clear if you want an unblemished experience, but I gotta say that cinematic is gonna give me some nightmares in the best kind of way, so go and enjoy. We've got a jam-packed stream for you today. There's everything you might want to know about the Lord of Hatred expansion that we're gonna get into. So we got a pretty lengthy video ready. I hope you get comfortable, get your snacks, get a drink, and enjoy.
To the Diablo developer update. With Lord of Hatred nearly upon us, we're here today to share a slate of exciting new updates. Before we dive in, we want to take a moment to thank our community for every piece of feedback, every post, every guide and critique video, and every moment you've spent with us in Sanctuary. We wouldn't be here without you. Lord of Hatred was made for this community. Now, join us as we dive into the story, classes, core progression, and the key systems. Let's jump right in. Lord of Hatred continues after the events in Nahantu. As we see with Neyrelle, no mortal was meant to carry the burden of a prime evil, and doing so leaves permanent scars. Neyrelle's journey transformed her, from her beginnings as a seeker of knowledge, to bearing the Soul Stone, and now to this final confrontation with Mephisto. Neyrelle grew from someone who admired the Haradrim to one who embodied their ideals. Neyrelle's tired.
It's not live, so I get to add commentary. I fucking hate Neyrelle. She's a terrible character. She's horrible. Wish they would have killed her off in the first frickin' campaign.
Tireless research has borne fruit, and she takes action with the decisive, selfless conviction that defines any true Haradrim. Now, there's a question that generations of Haradrim have been pondering throughout their history. What is the point of killing a primeval if they always come back a generation later, after the last Haradrim have grown old, and there are none ready and able to take a stand against them? That dilemma, the cycle of the eternal conflict, sits at the heart of Neyrelle's research and pushes the story into its next phase. Knowing her time was running short, Neyrelle sent warnings to the few people she trusts, including Lorath Nar. As we march towards the reckoning, one thing becomes clear. Mephisto's plan is simple and terrifying. With the body of Akarat as a puppet, Mephisto has positioned himself and his pawns to be in the right place at the right time, and with the whole world watching. This sets the stage for our journey to the Scovos Isles and our confrontation with Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred, and it's only the beginning.
With Lord of Hatred, 2 new classes join the fight, the Paladin and the Warlock. They're designed to be instantly recognizable in both
Crusader
fantasy and moment-to-moment gameplay. New tools, new strengths, and new ways to approach every activity across Sanctuary. Both classes have been built with today's meta in mind, bringing fresh answers to familiar challenges, new build paths to explore, and new roles to master across every system Diablo 4 has to offer.
The Talisman system is about giving you another way to express a build, giving you more room to specialize, items to hunt for, and more reasons to keep experimenting as you climb into the endgame. You'll see talismans built from a few key parts: your seal, your charms, and the combinations you create between them. The intent is simple: make the choices readable and make the results feel immediately different in combat. You'll find both seals and charms naturally as you play, across a range of rarities. Seals are the foundation. They unlock additional charm slots, roll bonus affixes, and in some cases they can even change the rules for what charms you're allowed to equip. At the top end, unique and set charms are the most powerful. These are the drops that you'll be chasing deep into the endgame. Unique charms pull signature powers from the unique items you know today, so that you can harness that effect without being locked into a specific gear slot. Set charms work a little differently. As you collect and
sounds like Kunai's Cube. Set charms, it sounds like they wanted to add sets, but they didn't want to add sets. But being able to put a unique in there pretty much is Kunai's Cube. It's just a copy from D3. It's a good copy from D3. Oh, mind you, I didn't hate everything about D3. The Kunai's Cube was actually one of the good things. But it's straight up a copy from D3.
equip more pieces from the same set, you'll unlock increasingly powerful set bonuses. Before Torment, set bonuses are more general, class agnostic, easy to understand, and meant to give you a serious boost while you're leveling. In Torment, sets become class specific, harder to find, and built to deliver a bold fantasy, unlocking new
That's literally a Diablo 3 set. Or straight up a D3 set.
archetypes and defining playstyles. The Horadric Cube is a legendary artifact for endgame crafting. Combine rare materials, transmute them into something greater, and unlock powerful bonuses to fine-tune your build. More than a tool, it opens new ways to upgrade gear, experiment with options, and push towards true endgame power. Horadric Cube crafting is deliberate and impactful. You can take an item, add affixes through transmutation, and then upgrade it through the rarity tiers, up to legendary. Want to turn a great drop into a best in slot? Transfiguration is the way to ultimately finish an item, layering on a range of powerful effects with a chance you'll be able to transfigure the same piece multiple times. You'll also choose how you transfigure. Standard transfiguration is chaotic. The potential for reward is high, but there is some risk. There's even a low chance that you'll be able to transfigure the same piece multiple times. Applying an entropic tuning prism makes your crafting outcome more stable. This will reduce the reward ceiling, but it always delivers a clean upgrade, perfect for items that are already incredible. For amulets, we have something special. The cube has an amulet-only transfiguration that can grant you a bonus legendary power, and you can re-roll it as long as you have the rare material to pay the cost. We love the variety and craziness of adding an extra legendary power onto high-end gear, legendaries, uniques, and even mythic items. So we've distilled that fantasy into a dedicated recipe you can use specifically on your amulet. Sometimes the best way forward is sacrifice. You'll now be able to break down an ancestral unique to create a unique charm. The latest skill tree updates are here to give you clearer, meaningful choices as you build, so that experimenting feels rewarding and the path from idea to fully realized build is easier to plan and more fun to iterate on. Itemization is the other half of the equation. With these system-wide updates, your item choices can meaningfully amplify a build, and they're designed to work in concert with everything else. Changes to legendary aspects, uniques, skill tree options, class mechanics, and more all support one goal, giving you the freedom to play your way. Let's look at a few examples. What is better than kicking your enemies away? How about kicking yourself to your enemies? Kick's Madness variant lets you fly around the battlefield by turning Kick into a mobility skill. Barbarians now have a variety of ancient skill variants that summon a temporary ancient to mimic your attack. Leap into combat with 3 ancients, then finish them off with a trio of ruptures. Druids can now choose their skills' shapeshift forms, and each form comes with powerful bonuses. Human form grants more resources, werewolf form grants more offensive power, while werebear form improves your survivability. Trample's variant leaves sundered rock along your path and a large burst at your target. Trample can now be used as a werewolf, and rather than charging along the ground, you quickly leap to your target. Druids can now unleash the Fury of the Wilds. This unique ring causes your shape-shifting skills to grant berserking and ferocity, bringing these powerful mechanics from the barbarian and spiritborn to the druid. You can take it a step further by synergizing Fury of the Wilds with the additional strikes upgrade for Lightning Storm, increasing the number of lightning strikes for each ferocity you have. Necromancers can now customize and upgrade their minions via the skill tree. Skeleton mages are now a core skill, costing essence to initially raise, but lasting indefinitely. Use the Singularity variant to instead focus all of your essence into a single, powerful, but short-lived mage. Skeleton warriors are passively raised from nearby corpses, and activating their ability commands them to instantly attack a targeted enemy. The Book of the Dead now also enhances your minions with the powers of Bone, Blood, or Darkness, allowing them to interact with a wider variety of legendary and unique effects, such as Aspect of the Void. With the Cthulhu's Righteous Will Talisman set bonus, your enemies will cower before you, immediately being feared for a short time when they see you. You also reflect stun and knockback effects at those foolish enough to try to control you. Paladins can unlock ultimate power with the Light's Epiphany Talisman set. Using the Arbiter of Light unleashes Heaven's Fury and Fortress and allows you to cast Zenith for a short time. Dance of Knives is now a core skill, costing energy per second to channel. If you aren't a fan of knives and want something with a bit more bang, try the Grenade Jumper variant to throw a constant stream of explosive grenades instead. Rogues also have new ways to manipulate the shadows. The Penetrating Shot variant Shadow Shot spawns shades to mimic your attack, and Shadow Clone's Sentry variant places stationary shadow clones to constantly fire upon your enemies. As the masters of fire, cold, and lightning, the sorceress weaves these elements together in their new skill variants. Charged Bolt's Burn Through variant causes the bolts to release globs of fire on impact rather than piercing through enemies. This variant excels in up-close and personal combat against many tightly packed enemies. Familiar is the only skill in the game with 4 variants. The first 3 allow you to choose which element your familiar will always be and gain unique benefits. If you want all 3 elements, the Prismatic Familiar option is for you, causing each of your spellcasts to trigger an explosion of the matching element from your familiar. Crackling Earth converts Concussive Stomp to an Eagle skill, removing the gorilla-themed crowd control effect and instead dealing lightning damage and creating storm feathers for each enemy hit. This synergizes extremely well with Aspect of Falling Feathers to absolutely shred a group of enemies. With its new variant, the Protector guards the infected forest. The Centipede Spirit assists by poisoning the area around the Protector, weakening enemies, and constantly spewing pestilent swarms. The Warlock arrives as a brand new class in Lord of Hatred. This master of the occult binds demons to their will and unleashes devastating hellfire across the battlefield. The Warlock has a dual resource system. Your basic skills, like Doom, generate Raft. Your core skills, like Hellfracture, spend Raft to unleash a powerful attack. Dominance is much slower to regenerate and is used for your greater demon summoning abilities, like Infernal Breath that spews fire at nearby enemies. To unleash ultimate destruction, channel the Armageddon ritual variant of Apocalypse, calling down a relentless storm of fire and brimstone on the battlefield.
Endgame in Diablo 4 should feel continuous. No stopping, no waiting, no friction between what you want to do and how you want to do it. The fight to defend Sanctuary continues in our new Endgame system, War Plans. Choose your favorite activities, chain them together, and then customize the hell out of them. You start at the command table in Themis, the capital city of Skovos. You pick your activities with almost everything on the menu. As you make progress, your command table levels up, opening up a wider range of options, including higher node rarities and deeper chains, with up to 5 activities in a single war plan. War plans also grant the ability to teleport directly to the next activity in your playlist, and eventually back to Themis to claim your rewards and create a new one. And if you don't have a Nightmare Sigil or a compass, not a problem. War plans can generate one on the fly if you don't have your own. War Plans is all about giving you more choice. Want to burn through a stack of sigils? Do it. Want to hard focus on one lair boss for your session? Go for it. War Plans does more than enhance your endgame, it connects it. Completing War Plans will also feed into activity trees. Each activity has its own tree that you can invest in to customize how it plays. You earn 7 points per activity, so this is where you'll have to make real decisions. Let's look at the Lair Boss tree, because it's a great example of how deep this can go. You can tune your rewards with nodes like Lair of Runes for more rune drops, Lair of Plenty for an extra horde chest, Golden Horde to convert low-tier items into gold, or Exotic Armory if you're looking to gear an alt. Then there's cross-pollination, pulling Lair bosses into other activities to remix your runs. Grigwar's Gambit can spawn him from HellTide chests. Embers of Anguish brings Andariel into the pit. Out of the Cold allows the Beast in Ice to join every Nightmare Dungeon boss fight. The Pit Tree gives you a completely different kind of control. You can dial up risk and reward with Choron's Haste, Heart of Stone, the Pit Butcher, or modifiers like Damned Thieves. Or you can pivot the rewards entirely, converting glyph upgrades with nodes like Choron's Soul and Choron's Flesh. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There are 100 different modifiers spread across the activities in the game. With War Plans, you get to define your own endgame. Fishing is designed as a laid-back collection activity, a chance to slow down and unwind between battles. You'll unlock it early after arriving in Skovos. A short questline will introduce you to the basics, and it'll teach you more about the wide variety of fish with different rarities and multiple modifiers to chase. Fishing is more fun with friends. You can trade any fish you find, no matter how weird, bloody, or celestial they might be, to help your fellow wanderers finish their collections. As for where you can fish, almost anywhere there are fish, and maybe even a few places that might surprise you. So take a deep breath, enjoy the calm you've earned, and appreciate a quieter moment in Sanctuary. But who knows what else lurks beneath the wine dark sea? When Lord of Hatred is released, we'll also be making major updates across both seasonal and eternal realms. Permanent updates across realms will include the major skill tree improvements we've discussed, alongside a level cap increase to 70, extending torment tiers, a loot filter, map overlay, pathfinding, plus a pit overhaul and itemization updates. For players on the seasonal realm, there will be character resets, a refresh to season rank challenges with new rewards, and updates to the tower and leaderboard beta, all falling within the Season of Reckoning. This season brings 2 additional season ranks, unlocking over 100 season rank challenges for those who keep climbing through Sanctuary's trials. Push past your limits, conquer fresh objectives, and claim rewards worthy of your growing legend.
With this update, we're here to make more affixes matter and make item choices contribute meaningfully to your overall power. Common, magic, and rare items contain meaningful value in Endgame because they can serve as crafting bases. You can later add affixes to them and upgrade their rarity using the Horadric Cube. They will continue to drop in Torment difficulties, including as ancestral items, and they can also roll with greater affixes. With this update, auto-salvaging of lower rare.
So they finally brought back magic and rares into the equation after they deleted them from the equation in a previous season. For those of you who don't know, rare items used to be the best item in the game. Like, bar none. It was the best item. Now, rare items are trash, and they're bringing rare items back. Okay. So we just came full circle.
Items in Torment has been disabled. Something we're excited about is damage multipliers on gear. Gone are the days of tossing out.
The last thing that Diablo 4 needs is more damage multipliers. That is the last thing Diablo 4 needs. There was a list about 18 miles long, and at the bottom of that list was damage multipliers for Diablo 4. There's already so many damage multipliers in Diablo 4, they do not need more. They do not need more damage multipliers.
Out items with additive damage. Damage multipliers stack additively with themselves, but are multiplicative, vastly leveling up the item game and depth when it comes to the perfect item. For uniques, we're opening things up by reducing the number of always fixed affixes and rolling more from the available pool, giving you room to chase truly optimized combinations for your build. Tempered affixes went through an overhaul. Unique and mythic items can now be tempered. 200 legendary aspects have been refreshed with design updates. Gems are getting a major upgrade. Weapon gem
Unique and mythic items can now be tempered. That's a huge change.
effects are significantly stronger, and we're including new gem tiers. We've heard your feedback on stackable items, and we've increased the stacking size to 1,000 to help with inventory management.
On the quality of life side, one of the biggest additions is the loot filter. This is a power user feature the community has been asking for a long time. You can export and import filters, hide item text, hide ground effects, hide both, or recolor text to make the drops that matter instantly stand out. Hunting for the perfect 4 out of 4 base, you can call out the affixes you care about and set a minimum number required, so those upgrade-ready items pop while the noise fades away. Loot filters will also support newly introduced systems such as the Talisman. The map overlay is here, and it completely changes how combat and moment-to-moment flow feels in Diablo 4.
I hate to be one of those guys, but map overlay should have been in the game from day freaking -10. Like, it should have been in the beta. Map overlay was something we'd been asking for literally like 13 seasons. Like, it was stupid that it took this long to put into the game. Map overlay is a basic general function of any ARPG, and is something that if an ARPG is missing is just absolutely bonkers.
When the overlay is up, the minimap gets
I hate to, like, be this person because I've had people say this before, and they're like, it should have been in the game at launch. But no, this should have been a game at the launch. I'm not giving them any credit for finally adding this. I'm happy they finally added it, but this should have been there from day one.
out of the way to broaden your view of the game space, and you've got quick controls to tune it on the fly. Keybinds for opacity, keybinds for zoom, and options to adjust the coloration of the overlay to match your preference. For those looking to continue with a smooth flow, you can enable pathfinding, which draws your route through Sanctuary directly to your destination. You'll no longer need to stare at your minimap to make sure you're headed the right way. The level cap has increased, expanding the ceiling for long-term progression. Torment tiers are being refined as well to support a consistent feel as you progress further, and to match the
Hey, look, more torment tiers like Diablo 3.
rewards track better with the risk you're taking.
we've made important improvements to layer bosses, focused on clarity, choice, and cleaner loot chasing. Every layer boss now has its own dedicated pool of unique items. Layer bosses now share a single key, and all greater layer bosses share another, reducing friction and inventory space. Bartok and Astaroth are now in the layer boss system, and the Butcher is now a greater layer boss in both Seasonal and Eternal Realms. Lord Zir is now only one click away on the world map. We've made updates to runes to reduce friction and make progression smoother. The result is a more streamlined system and an indirect buff to farming the specific runes you care about. The rune pool has been updated and we've removed underutilized runes. All remaining runes now fit cleanly into the Socketable's inventory. Runes have also been heavily integrated into our Horadric Cube crafting system.
Pit improvements are here, along with tuning and quality of life updates to make each run more exciting and more rewarding. Some of the improvements you've seen in the tower are coming to the pit, and we've also removed a few legacy systems along the way. The pit has grown, literally. Every run now spans 5 full floors, clearly marked by pit depth, so you always know how deep you've gone.
Hey, look, another Diablo 3 feature. That's the Diablo 3 riffs all over again.
And how close you are to the finish. Floor generation has been rebuilt from the ground up for smoother flow, less frustrating dead ends, and a more consistent rhythm that keeps you moving forward. Nearly every environment in the game can now appear in the pit, pulling from both expansions and past seasons. And there are rare floors where you'll stumble onto brand new layout mashups found nowhere else. To keep the focus on action, we've also removed death and resurrection penalties along with boss shadow attacks. Spawning in the pit.
I can't say I'm sad to see the shadow attacks go. They were the most bullcrap things that I'd ever seen added into the game. The season that they added them, they were so stupid. Like, you literally just have random boss attacks just going off the entire time while you're playing. And it wouldn't have been so bad if they'd actually disabled them when you staggered the boss. But they didn't disable them when you staggered the boss. Like, the entire point of fighting a boss is to stagger the boss, and then once you stagger the boss, you take advantage of the boss's weakness. But the shadow attacks would just keep going while the boss was staggered. So the moment of weakness that you were supposed to take advantage of couldn't be taken advantage of because there'd be a giant shadow boss attack on top of the boss while he was staggered. I'm super happy to see the shadow boss attacks go bye-bye.
It has been tuned to feel fair, deadly, and exciting. Shrines now use a flat spawn chance, giving each run a more consistent baseline, while still allowing for the occasional lucky spike. Almost every variant of every monster family can now appear, including very rare and special populations. Progress now scales with real danger, meaning tougher enemies push the bar faster. And yes, treasure goblins can now invade the pit, alone or with all their friends, with bosses, goblins, and treasure chests all capable of dropping loot. Pit mastery objectives are now fully formalized, with the tracker clearly showing both party and personal progress. Boss encounters waste no time. Bosses now ambush your party by spawning directly on top of you, and without clearing existing enemies. On top of that, the pit will now pull from the tower boss roster, injecting even more variety and unpredictability into every run.
All I'm seeing with every single edition, like literally all I'm seeing with every single edition is literally Diablo 3, Diablo 3, we took this from Diablo 3, Diablo 3, we grabbed this from Diablo 3, like, it's literally just Diablo 3, like, Diablo 3, like, you got the Diablo 3 cube recipes, those are the D3 cube recipes, the ones that you could, like, do in the Kunai's cube in town, they're the D3 cube recipes. They also added the Kunai's cube, basically, the Kunai cube with all the Kunai effects. The charms essentially take over the unique part. They basically added Diablo 3 sets. They basically added Diablo 3 gryphs almost exactly. They added grift floors. Like, they basically made it so that the boss spawns on your head. Like, this is literally just all D3 stuff. Like, it's literally D3, 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 D3. It's like over and over again. It's just D3. Every single thing they're adding. It's just, you might as well just copy and paste, just like D3 forever. Like, I haven't seen anything that they've added so far that isn't just like a straight ripoff of something that was in Diablo 3 before. There was absolutely no new aspects of anything that they've added at all. It's just Diablo 3 for like eternity. Diablo 3 sets, Diablo 3 cube recipes, the Kunai's cube, Diablo 3 glyphs, Diablo 3, Diablo 3, Diablo 3. It's just Diablo 3 after Diablo 3 after Diablo 3. There's no original thought here at all so far. Like, I haven't seen anything that looks original in any way, shape, or form. It's literally just, what can we copy from Diablo 3 that we haven't copied already, and let's copy it. And that's pretty much all I've seen so far this entire campfire.
Since we introduced the tower and leaderboards, it's been incredible to listen to your feedback, watch the competition evolve, and keep learning right alongside the community. Now we're bringing a focused set of updates, more reasons to climb, clearer ways to compete, and smoother moment-to-moment play. The Artificer's Stash is a new feature coming to the tower. This provides valuable caches that contain items with guaranteed greater affixes, along with currencies and even lore books. These treasures can only be earned by climbing the tower, and first-time completion of higher tower tiers awards the Artificer's favor. The new build viewer captures a snapshot of every build that ranks on the leaderboard. When you click a top player's leaderboard entry, the viewer displays that saved snapshot, making it easier for everyone to see which builds are performing best in tower competition. New environments, monsters, and bosses are arriving to keep the tower experience fresh. In addition to starting a tower run when you exit the circle, your run will now automatically begin after a brief countdown. And hey, did you mess up the run? Did you just barely make it? Did the Orb Goblin run away? Is that the best you got? The Artificer himself will now offer some commentary. Please try your best. He is...
Oh no, the Artificer himself will offer commentary on your runs. Almost like, I don't know, a game that I've heard of before that I played a little bit for a while, where you went into these greater rifts and the freaking guy in town named Zoltan Cool would always make comments on your run. He would make comments when you started the run. He would make comments when you completed the run. He would make comments when you failed the run. Oh look, it's another Diablo 3 mechanic added into the game.
Watching. Lastly, we're making tower competition timing better and fairer. Based on player feedback, leaderboards now start on Thursdays after a release or patch. This permits the time needed to address any major issues before the community-wide competitive aspect of the tower begins. That's a quick look at what's ahead with Lord of Hatred and Season of Reckoning. We'll have more details in our blogs, patch notes, and deep dives. So if something here caught your eye, you'll be able to dig in right away. See you all in Sanctuary. Welcome.
Whew. Okay, that is a lot to chew on. As Avin mentioned at the end of that video, we will have our official blog launching after the stream, so you can go and check that out if there's extra details you want to chew on. But additionally, we will have Q&A towards the end of the stream, so if you have any questions that weren't answered in that overview video, feel free to drop them in chat. We'll grab those and answer those.
So let me see if I can sum up all the D3 additions. So Diablo 4 turns into Diablo 3. What have they added so far? They added the Crusader. They added sets. They added the Kunai's cube. They added the ability to socket essentially uniques. They added the glyphs. They basically added in Zoltan Cool to make commentary for you after every single run. They added in more levels to the pit, which is literally just the glyphs from D3. So if you don't remember, the greater rifts and the rifts always had like 3-4 levels that you could go down, and it was like a whole thing where you could go down all the levels. That was literally a D3 mechanic. Just goodness griefus. I could literally go back through here and like pick everything that they've added, and it's just like I can't see anything in here that's not just like Diablo 3 crap. Like, it's just all Diablo 3 crap, every single bit of it. These recipes, like the way that they're doing the recipes, where you basically select a recipe from a menu, and then the menu automatically populates the ingredients for the recipe into the cube. Like those cube recipes, they're literally just D3 cube recipes, which is essentially exactly how the recipes worked in D3. Was that you didn't actually put anything in the cube. What you did is you chose from a menu, essentially, to basically pick the recipe that you wanted. You don't have to actually remember the recipe. You can't actually physically, like, hold the objects in your hands, because most of the time the objects are not tangible. They're like trash, that goes into like a number system, right? So, like, for the most part, like, when you look at the way that the recipe system works, it's just straight up the D3 recipe system. Affix rerolling is basically D3. Prefix rerolling, both of those are essentially D3 stuff. It was one of the things that D3 added, which was basically the ability to just reroll affixes and prefixes on your items, which is exactly what they essentially allow you here. Recycling items, so you can, like, recycle uniques. Recycling uniques is basically exactly what D3 was about. So if you guys don't know, you would take your unique item in Diablo 3 and you would take it to the Kunai's cube, and then you would use a specific recipe to recycle your unique into the cube, which would allow the cube then to have access to your power, which you could then choose as a power on one of your options. Now you can recycle a unique into a talisman, which you can then put onto your thing and have that talisman as one of your powers. It's essentially the exact same thing as D3 all over again. Like, I could go through this and pick it apart like piece by piece, but trust me when I say that there's not a single bit of original thought in anything that they've done here. Not a single damn thing. It's literally all just reused D3 mechanics, and rehashed D4 mechanics to make something that looks new. It's literally just D3 all over again with just some sprinkles. They put some sprinkles on there. Like this ring right here, that gives you ferocity and berserking as a werewolf. Sounds cool and all, but what is it more than just a rehashed abilities? It's literally just rehashing berserking, which you could already get through other means, and it's rehashing ferocity, which is on the Spiritborn, and giving berserking and ferocity to the werewolf or the werebear, so that you can basically have werebear, werewolf, berserk, ferocity, like all in one package deal, right? So what is it? It's just a reused ability from the Spiritborn, a reused ability from the barbarian on the werewolf, which is also just a reused character at this point too, because everybody's looking at the other newer characters coming out. I mean, I could keep going. Like, I don't know, like, why I need to. Like, anybody who's played Diablo 3 should be able to really easily see when they look at something like this. Like, that is literally a Diablo 3 set. Like, that is a Diablo 3 set in a nutshell, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. There's no question. That's just a D3 set. Like, I could pull up a Diablo 3 set, and I could put it side by side, and you can literally look at them side by side and see, like, the comparison between the two. Let's pull up one of the sets. Doesn't really matter which one I pull up, so let's pull up, like, let's pull up the Wrath of the Wastes. Let's see if somebody has a Wrath of the Wastes set. That's what I'm looking for. Alright, so let's put these side by side and let's look at them real quick. Look. 2 set bonus, 4 set bonus, 6 set bonus. Freaking takes up your entire character because you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. Very close. that literally has 2-set, 3-set, and 5-set bonuses. The 5-set bonus is always the one that gives you massive damage. The 5-set bonus gives you massive damage. The 2-set bonus is the one that always gives you an increase to a specific skill. So, for instance, it's something specific that you're doing. Enemies cower before you, becoming feared when they see you or when you block them. And then the 4-set bonus is usually damage reduction. So let's see, your reflect, stun, and knockback effects, your minimum resolve is increased. Your resolve is a damage reduction effect. So let's break it down as simple as possible, right? The 2-set bonus is almost something specific to what you do. The 4-set bonus, or the second bonus, is always a damage reduction. Second bonus is always a damage reduction. The full set bonus is always a huge, ridiculous damage percentage bonus increase to either a specific skill or to your entire character. The full set bonus is a massive, increasive damage bonus to either your single skill or your entire character. Like, they're literally just D3 sets all over again. They're gonna take pretty much any build diversity out of the game. The only saving grace is that the original D3 sets were on equipment. And the new D3 sets, which are in Diablo 4 now, are not on equipment. They're on talismans or charms or whatever the hell you call them. So they basically have just taken the set off of your equipment and put it onto your gear, which is not really much better, honestly. Because once you have this full set, you're going to have the ridiculous damage bonus, and you're going to be geared toward that specific thing, just like you were in D3. The problem with the D3 sets wasn't that the D3 sets were overpowered. The problem with the D3 sets was that they took all basically build, your mind out of the equation. There was nothing left. You don't need to think about anything when you have a D3 set on, because the D3 set on tells you what ability to use, Rend. It tells you what ability to give you damage reduction, Whirlwind. It tells you how much damage you're going to get by using Whirlwind, by getting Dust Devils, and it basically gives you an exact, replica of, how you're supposed to play your character. In this particular case, with the Wrath of the Wastes, it is use Rend to get 500% increase and its duration to 15 seconds. You get Whirlwind to get your 40% damage reduction, and then you get your Dust Devils, which do your 2,500% increased damage. So what does this one do? Enemies cower before you, and they get fear or immobilized. And also when you block them, right? So you reflect, stun, and knockback effects, and your minimum resolve is increased. So it's basically telling you that you want to get stunned and you want to get knocked back. You get minimum resolve bonuses, and resolve is going to be your main way of basically fighting any damage, right? So you're going to have physical damage reduction or damage reduction of essentially any type by stacking resolve stacks, and you're going to want as many resolve basically stacks as you can get to get your physical damage reduction as high as possible. You're going to want to use Whirlwind to get your damage reduction as high as possible. Then over here, it's literally telling you when you crowd control an enemy, the one that can crowd control you rise to the occasion, dealing 500% increased damage for 10 seconds. So what is it telling you? Crowd control enemies all the time. So when you try to crowd control a worthy enemy, which is something that is probably an elite or a champion or anything like that, it's literally just telling you how to play your character. Go crowd control elites or champions, get huge damage bonus, go kill stuff. Use Whirlwind, get lots of damage reduction, get huge amounts of bonus damage to your Dust Devils, go kill stuff. There's no brain power in it. It's literally just put the set on and do what it tells you to do, and it's back again in Diablo 3, just like it was before.
We've got Colin, Zavin, and Art back on the stream. Welcome, fellas.
Hey.
Yeah, great to be back.
Great to have you guys here. So I know we did go through, everything coming with Lord of Hatred in that overview. We do also have Season of Reckoning launching at the same time as the expansion. And I know this is going to be a little bit different of a season because it is coming out in tandem with the expansion. What can players kind of expect to see for Season of Reckoning?
Yeah, so kind of as we covered, there's a huge slew of itemization updates. Skill trees have been revamped for every single class. There's just a ton there. In addition to that, season rank has actually expanded. There's more of it. It's over 100 different objectives to conquer, and eventually Tower will be turning on, as we said. But yeah, this will be kind of a special season to keep focus on the expansion. And the idea is future seasons will return more to the regular stuff that we're used to.
And you'll still be able to play the campaign and all that good stuff, both in Seasons and Eternal, whatever tickles your fancy.
Mm-hmm. And I love, too, for Season of Reckoning, because so much of it relies on seasonal rank, there's so much that you get to passively do just as you're playing the game, right? So it's not as though you have to, it silos you to a totally different content piece. You get to chip away on it just as you're playing through the expansion and everything else. So
yeah. There's also a lot of goodies packed in there.
A ton. Yeah, a lot of rewards spread throughout.
Yeah, gotta love some rewards. But of course, I do really want to know from you guys, with the expansion coming out soon, with so much launching, what are you all most excited for players to get their hands on for the Lord of Hatred expansion?
Yeah, I would say something that exists in the game. I would say probably the skill trees. I think, we've talked to death about it, but really it's hard to sort of understate or overstate, I should say, how transformative it is to actually play with it. Like, it's actually hard for us to play on live right now just because there's so many more builds. Art mentioned in the video that we touched like over 200 aspects. We've also added just a ridiculous amount of uniques to the game. We've ensured that like literally every skill in the game has a unique that can talk to it and interface with it. It all works with the variants and the sort of upgrades in the skill tree. And I just can't wait to see kind of all the crazy things that the players cook up. Like, a huge goal was to like blow out the number of builds in the game. Like, if you love build crafting, or if you love making your own sort of zero to hero journey with tons of weird odds and ends in your build, like, this is the expansion for you. And I just can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, across the video and even in the blog that's going to recap a lot of what we talk about here, there's only so much we can do to kind of describe how all these changes are going to be. You really are just going to have to jump in game and experience it for yourself, because all of us play Diablo so differently. And I think I saw in chat as that came up, Skydragon said, "Inject that into my veins." So I think that kind of puts it pretty well. So pretty pumped about those changes. But yeah, that's awesome. How about you, Zavin?
Warplanes, hands down. I'm so excited. We've never really had something like this to just so deeply modify all of our endgame activities. It really is. When we say like you get to make your own endgame, we really mean it. We have 100 nodes across all the activities in the game. Some of them actually cross-pollinate, so you can make choices in one tree that modify another one. So there's just a bunch of variety for players to kind of chew on, sink their teeth into. I can't wait. It's such a different way to think about what you do in your moment-to-moment in the end game, and there hasn't been anything like it since. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I think much like the skill tree, it's fun to tinker and craft all these.
It just struck me as I'm watching this. Young guy probably in his like 30s or early 20s or late 20s. Young guy probably in his late 20s or early 20s. Young guy probably in his late 20s, early 20s. This guy's the only old guy on the entire team. It's no wonder they're literally making the entire game into Diablo 3, because these are all Diablo 3 players. These are all people who grew up with Diablo 3. This is what they like. They love Diablo 3. Like they grew up with D3. They love like slapping on a set and mindlessly killing monsters to like heavy metal music and like not thinking about anything at all except for like how much damage they're doing. And then this guy, I don't know about him. Like, he seems like he should be old enough to know better, like that he played Diablo 2 and probably like doesn't appreciate how they did things in Diablo 3. But like the rest of these guys, I can totally understand. These are literally D3 players. Like, they grew up with D3. That's their like baby game that they played when they were kids.
These things, and then it's even more fun to send it out into the wild to see what crazy combinations people come up with.
Yeah, and then it's especially in tandem with all the skill tree stuff we're doing, right? You get to change kind of how you do the end game and also what your end game is. You get to control kind of both halves of this now.
That's rad. That's rad. How about you, Art?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what kind of builds people cook up that we've never even thought of, right? So, for me, definitely excited to have people try all the new systems. Skill tree. There's a talisman. There's the cube. We've kind of redone everything, updated everything. But really, what excites me most is just kind of players experiencing all of this together, like holistically in concert for the full, for a brand new Diablo experience, really.
Yeah, and it's something that we actually do point out in the blog that I think is really exciting too, that we touched on a little bit in the video, is like there is so much that's changed to the game regardless of whether or not you own the expansion. So if you're just coming back to, play Diablo over the weekend.
A whole new game. A fantastic new game, because we changed it again. I know we changed it before, and then we changed it again another time, and then there was like 4 or 5 times where we completely reworked the whole game. But this one here is a whole new game, completely different from the 4 other times we changed the game. There's totally new stuff, and we threw away the old stuff, and there's new stuff over here that you can play.
and you just want to get it back into it for a little bit, so much of the game does feel different. And if you're playing on Eternal, if you're not playing in the expansion, so much has changed for anyone who plays Diablo. So like you said, all players get to experience it at the same time. So it's a lot of really cool changes.
Yeah, I actually saw a comment where I was watching the Warlock video, and they're like, oh, whoever like designed and worked on the Warlock and Paladin, like the team that did that should do that to the rest of the classes. And it's like, well, you're in luck, because absolutely the same team has killed it and updated every single class. So you don't even need the Warlock or Paladin to experience sort of this new, I would say, generation of class, which is super cool.
That's unreal. That's awesome. Excellent. Okay, so I know we've got some questions that we've gathered in Twitch chat. We're actually going to kick it over to Q&A now and answer some of your questions that you've been dropping in. So first things first, we've got a question here. We've seen a lot of reactions and feedback on inventory. Can you guys speak a little bit on some of the things we've seen?
Yeah, so I think some of this has been reaction to some of the reviews and stuff that have been coming out. And for what it's worth, anyone who knows Marak, our favorite dancing Fallen, he was kind of available in those things, and so we had a lot of people loading up on stuff. Generally speaking, we've made a lot of changes to the game, which actually I'll let these guys kind of chip in and give some answers to. But starting with, we actually have, if you buy Lord of Hatred, you get a stash tab. So inventory pressure has been something we've been thinking about how to relieve, and that's one way to do it, but there's a bunch of other stuff we want to do it. So if there's something you want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say like one of the changes that we made was essentially to reduce and remove incense and elixirs, because it felt like it was one of those like really annoying uptime games that just wasn't super fun in the end game. To compensate, something we saw people use these for is the XP boost. So we've actually like massively increased the amount of XP you get from monster kills while leveling up, which actually translates.
Why? What? Why? Last time I played, I literally got to level cap in what was it, like 4 hours? And I wasn't even trying. I was like trying to not go fast. Was it? Do they want you to just log in and just instantly be level cap? Is that what they want? Like you just log in, kill 2 monsters, bam, you're level cap. Like, is that the end goal here? Because like every time. They make it so that it's absolutely ridiculous, where people are getting to like level cap in like 30 minutes, and then I hear them go, and we increased the EXP that you get from such and such and monsters, and we wanted to make sure that you guys got more EXP when you were doing this, and I'm like, why? You can already hit level cap in like 30 minutes. Why?
It's much more into the difficulty tiers as well, because a lot of the difficulty tier XP comes from monster kills. So we've massively increased the amount of XP for monster kills. You don't have to go and do quests now to necessarily get the max level quickly, which is awesome. Art, I know we've also done a ton of stuff on the lair bosses.
Yeah, definitely. I think across all kind of inventory tabs, lowering inventory pressure was really, really important. So you saw in the video, like everything that's stackable stacks to 1,000 now. We've removed runes, so they all fit in your inventory. We've consolidated a bunch of other things like layer boss keys. Something else that we've done with the Horadric Cube is just give an outflow for a lot of items that you may pick up that are like, once you get into the end game, oh, it's not really worth my time using blue and yellow tributes. I'm like, okay, cool, you can take those, you can combine those up into higher rarity tributes, and we've done this across a bunch of things, so it should be generally much easier to keep everything in your bags and not have it overflow into your stash.
Yeah, and to re-clarify the infamous screenshot that we've all been looking at with like several thousand stats, it's Marak and like, PTR boost, you could go do that today and take a screenshot and it'd look terrible, but that's what it was.
Thanks for clarifying that, Colin. That's great. I've got a question from Galbatorx_90. My question to the devs, really excited about everything coming with Season of Reckoning and the Lord of Hatred expansion. Could you share how the team is approaching the evolution of endgame systems to create a cohesive gameplay loop that keeps players engaged across both seasonal and the expansion's long-term progression?
I think I can take a stab, and we can probably all take a stab. Yeah. We'll try and keep it short, because we could probably talk about that for like an hour.
Of course.
I think like really Lord of Hatred is the ultimate, I would say, build crafting and power fantasy. It starts with the skill tree. We've updated a ton of the foundations of all the classes. We've even updated a bunch of keywords and mechanics. You'll get to experience that when you play the game, and we're very excited about that. So we've updated the foundation. We've reworked a lot of the itemization and updated it and upgraded it. So like if there's things you like about it today, we've massively improved it. And then the power fantasy side, what what is a better power fantasy than being able to influence the world around you beyond just your character? And that's what War Plans represents. That's what the meta progression trees represents. So, you know, it's really about giving you a lot of control and giving you a lot of things to tinker with. Our hope is that you only see like a fraction of this every season that you play. Where I would be shocked if you're able to play every single class, every single build, every single War Plans permutation. So I'm rambling, but I'll toss it over to these guys.
Yeah, I'll throw out there that you know, one of the things that helps kind of the end game feel really good is making sure there isn't a bunch of bloat. And you know, the game's in its, you know, has a couple years on it right now. Just making sure that we go through and are diligent about like, hey, is that serving a purpose in the game still? Does it need to be there? How important is it really? There's things like elixirs and incense. How important are they really? They're just like a tax on your time to go make sure you have upkeep and things like that. But also down to the lair boss keys. Right? So do we actually even need that many? Does the game need that many? So anytime we can go through the game and find these places where it's like actually removing something, streamlining something helps make everything better, right? It uplifts everything else because now you don't have to waste your time thinking about these other concepts. So that helps everything be more connective, right? Because they're not having to kind of connect to a dead part of the game that doesn't really matter. Like elixirs, again, is a really good example of what was it really doing for you other than an XP boost? Okay, fine, here. Monsters just give you better XP, now you don't have to do elixirs, right?
Yeah, I like that. It's like eliminating all the chores. And I think, you know, one of the great ways that's baked into War Plans too that you've mentioned before is how, like, if you don't have a key for a particular activity that you're getting into, it just makes one for you. It's not like, oh, you don't have to go into the world to get a, you know, a lair boss key that you need. The game is just like, no, you got it. You're good. You can just
and then
move along.
also, if you find a key you do like and you want to run, you can just run that instead.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one thing I'll add, and I'll try to keep it brief, is that one of our goals was that we really want the game to feel like it's broadening and expanding as you progress. And we've done that with the skill tree, with itemization, with War Plans, with the cube. And really, I think, kind of speaking back to Colin's comment about there's so many different things and so many permutations that you like realistically won't be able to see them in one season. I think that kind of helps that feeling of the end game being fresh and season over season.
Yeah, I'll add one more thing to that too, and you'll see some of the seasonal mechanics that players have really loved and enjoyed baked into War Plans. So, you know, this is something as a system we hope to sort of improve and expand over time as we do new seasons. We have this really cool system where we can inject fan favorites back into the game, you know, if we think that it's going to make a better and more fun experience. So we think it's going to give us a lot of tools and the players a lot of fun things to fuck around with. So,
Yeah.
And I would add, that is true about all the systems that we've been talking about. The cube, the talisman, all these things are primed for that kind of treatment in the future.
Yeah, that's rad, because I feel like every season, whenever it wraps up, we always say like, hey, will this come back? It's like, well, we might find an interesting way to bring it back, and this is a huge way where a lot of those systems are going to be coming back in a really fun and cool way.
absolutely.
Hell yeah. Nice. I've got a question from Mippy, one of our Diablo partners. Zavin, I know you kind of mentioned this. Will the tower go live with the start of the expansion, or will the beta go live at a later time?
It is just a little bit later. So we want to, you know, we've heard, hey, if we're going to be launching the competitive aspect, let's just give a little bit of time, just a little bit to make sure things are good and it's a fair competition and things like that. So the details are on the blog. You can go check it out. But it's going to be starting kind of not just in this case, but we're seeing this as the standard a few days after kind of the patch, right? Just to give ourselves some time to even things out, make sure there isn't any weird bug or anything like that, and then everyone can kind of jump in a fair way together.
Yeah, it's nice to eliminate all the bugaboos right off the jump and then
Yep.
yeah, then get right into it. Love it. Question from Farina at Diablo. How will war plans function in multiplayer? Will it evolve the war plan for the whole party or just for the party leader?
Yeah, I can take this one.
go ahead.
So right now the war plans are per player, but what we do is if you and I are playing, or if we're playing as a party, everybody gets essentially like a chunk of the reward, baseline reward. So if Zavin and I are playing and we do a nightmare dungeon, Zavin has a nightmare dungeon node, I will get essentially a reward cache and reputation or meta progression, we should say, for the nightmare dungeon skill tree.
Yeah.
So it ensures that like when you're playing as a party, it's still efficient, even though the boards aren't always synced.
Nice. Sweet. Question from Fame, another Diablo partner. Does the fish collection reset every season, or is it an account one and done kind of thing?
So I mean, once you've collected a fish, you've collected a fish. But beyond that, you can fish for as long as you want. You can catch duplicates of stuff. You can it's not a one and done system. Like it's not like a quest, right, or a campaign thing where you just kind of do it once and you're done forever. You can keep catching fish.
One of the weirdest additions I've ever seen added into the game was fishing. They made some illusion that there's like a boss or something that you can fish up. It's kind of what they said. They did and then, well, who knows what else you can catch in the deep, kind of a moment. But like, I actually like fishing in video games. I was like a master fisher in Final Fantasy 14, made like all my money with fishing. Like I figured out what the raid food was and then just literally fished up all the fish to create the raid food and just started selling massive amounts of them. But like, it's so stupid. I don't know why you would add fishing into a game like this. It's not the first ARPG that's ever had fishing in it, but it's mildly useless.
But the actual act of marking them collected, you have collected them once you've already done them.
Heck yeah, nice. Loathe Burger, another Diablo partner. Will the loot filter highlights reflect on the minimap?
So that's something that we're looking to sort of, it's not, I'll say that right now, it's not going to. We are looking to essentially gather a bunch of feedback on the loot filter. It came in hot. It's one of those things that we know players have been asking for, and we felt like, let's give this to the community. It's very much a tool driven by the community, so we want to hear what are the things that you want to improve in the loot filter. So please give us that sort of feedback. We know that's something that,
I mean, fishing's been in ARPGs since before then. Like, I remember a couple ARPGs back in, like, the 2000 era, but they had fishing in.
I personally want. I think we all want it. So that's just one of those things that we'll file away as, like, we're going to improve the system.
Oh, yeah. You heard it here first.
It's one of those things.
I think that's kind of the thing, is that it's not really a new thing. It's not really something that was actually all that amazing in ARPGs. Like, it's something that you see in MMOs. It's something that you see in like a dedicated fishing game. It's something that you see in like other titles, but like it never really fit in ARPGs. It just doesn't.
It's like we are adding a map overlay. So there's a whole new way to kind of look at the world around you now just because of that. And we really want your feedback on how this is going to be interacting with both those maps, right? Not just the mini map, but also the map overlay. So let us know how you guys like it.
Yeah, please drop us your feedback. And I mean across the whole expansion, we are going to be absolutely eagle-eyed on the forums, on socials, just checking everywhere from our partners. We're really, really eager for the feedback, and we're also excited to just get this into everyone's hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Enigma 42K. With itemization and the skill trees being overhauled, how is masterworking going to change, and how is it going to affect the way they interact with skills compared to how they work now?
We just updated masterworking in season 11, so we're not really planning on making any updates soon.
Yeah, it still has quality. You'll still be able to get that through transfiguration, but we actually like how the system's working right now. So.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Nice. All right, our last question. I am the berm. I see the level cap now goes to 70. Does the Paragon cap rise as well?
No, we're keeping it the same. We think that that's something that we think is like a good sort of thing to chase towards the end of the season. Right now it's like super grindy from 20 to 300, which we like because it's kind of like, okay, you've gotten all the major nodes within your Paragon. Now if you just really want to sort of grind out those core stats, you're more than welcome to. I will say we've also increased the amount of XP multipliers from Torment. So, you know, if previously 300 was like close to within reach and you're like, I think I'm good, I'm not going to play for the rest of the season. The deeper you go into Torments, that'll make that faster. So probably more people are going to end up reaching that max level. So, yeah.
Nice. I feel like we've all seen the like dreaded calculation on the subreddit where people go like, you hit 297, you're only halfway there, man.
Exactly.
Like, so I'm glad that there's that now, like that XP boost to kind of push you to that extra. And there will be something fun we'll talk about towards the end of the stream, specific to Paragon that players should get excited about. But that wraps up our Q&A actually. We're getting close towards the end of the stream. I do want to reiterate, like for Q&A, there is a ton of information in the blog. You will notice the 3.0 patch notes are a bit lighter than usual, but that's because to list out all the skill tree changes would have been near impossible. So we've now just made that illustrative in the blog. So thank you. So yeah, I do just really want to make a note that like, I thank you guys for being here. I know it's an incredibly busy time. I am actually really excited to say as well that we are sim shipping this blog in all languages too. So that doesn't always happen, but everyone can chew on that time, on that information all at the same time. And I know we do have a few call outs closer to the end of the stream that we're going to get into. We had the Jackson collaboration. We have another collaboration. It's a really important one. I'm kind of blanking on it right now, but I know we're going to kick it over to it soon. I really don't know.
I don't remember.
Sorry, I don't really have my notes up right now. But one sec, let me just kind of bump this around. Oh, we've actually got a very special video.
As he's holding a corn mug, and this is literally corn. I don't really care about corn. Moving on.
And Korn has put out their first single in 4 years. Reward the Scars is out today, and that video releases on Monday. We showed it off to the team. Brian wasn't lying. It's pretty badass. You're definitely going to want to check that out when it releases, but we've been so pumped to partner with Korn, so that is absolutely fantastic. And we do have our release map that we can show you now to show the entire global release for Lord of Hatred expansion. Istanbul, I hope you got your Turkish coffee ready because it's going to be an early morning for you. But there's that release map timing. We're going to be releasing this in the blog and on socials following the stream, so you can check out when.
Why is it always Monday, Tuesday? Why? I've been joining these season launches for the longest time, man. Why is it always freaking Monday, Tuesday? Like, do they believe that the world revolves around business hours and that like everything should happen on a Monday, Tuesday? Like, why don't they schedule this stuff for like a Saturday or like a Friday? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. The people have jobs and they'd like to join in on this stuff, and you're putting it in the middle of a work week on like the busiest work day of the work week. Makes no sense whatsoever why they always want to do this crap on freaking like Mondays and Tuesdays. It's so dumb.
And Lord of Hatred goes live for you. Additionally, today, pre-download goes live at 4 p.m. PDT on Battle.net, Xbox, and PlayStation. So you can pre-download the 3.0.0 build, so when Lord of Hatred releases, you'll get into the expansion that much faster. And that begins rolling out at 4 p.m. PDT today for pre-download. So go and check that out. I'm also very excited to announce, or not announce, we've already had this promotion live for a little bit, but we've partnered with Trolley Gummies. Again, you can go to your local grocery store and get a bag of Mephisto branded Trolley Gummies, and you'll actually be able to get some weapon transmogs with your purchase, so you can go check those out. I have to say, ever since with your purchase, you can also get an exclusive in-game reward. It is a town portal that is Fanta colored, which is pretty phenomenal. So you can go get your trolleys, get your Fanta, and have a great time. So enjoy that. Additionally, we've got some really exciting things going on in Overwatch. Overwatch is celebrating the launch of Lord of Hatred with 5 new skins and some other goodies in game. They've got sprays, avatar, name cards, you name it. That Ramatra Mephisto skin looks phenomenal. They're going to have Twitch drops as well to celebrate the launch of Lord of Hatred. We've got a really exciting community challenge that you can sink your teeth into. So starting with the launch of Lord of Hatred, the Hatred's Downfall community challenge is here. And with the help of the community, you can earn this Helm of Hatred for everyone in Diablo 4. The challenge is this. Globally, we need to earn 266,666,000 Paragon points. Now that's across Eternal, that's across Seasonal, and that's for expansion owners and expansion non-owners. So everyone who plays Diablo 4 can participate in this. Casual dads on the weekend, I see you. You just need to get to the end game and start earning those Paragon points to jump in. We will be updating our global total on Tuesdays on our social channels, and we'll also have an in-game message that will, check it out Monday. That you can earn through both Twitch drops and support a streamer, so you can check out the details in the blog for those in the Diablo 4 category. So go and check those out. Additionally, as Lord of Hatred comes out, we're all really excited to see your reactions, so be sure to tag us on socials, whether you're a streamer or a fan, between the campaign, any sort of big reveal. We've all just been working on this for so long, and we're really, really excited to see how you experience the expansion. So please tag us. We're really curious to see your reactions and how you enjoy everything in the Lord of Hatred expansion. Now, before we close out the stream, I do want to kick it back over to the devs we have here today. Colin, Zav, and Art, is there anything you want to tell the players before they jump into Lord of Hatred?
I'll say thank you to everyone who's been kind of with us on this journey. We are very excited to kind of close this arc, this Age of Hatred arc that we've been kind of building towards. So thank you to everyone who's been playing with us this whole time. It's been exciting. I cannot wait until everyone jumps in and sees it all. I can't wait till I can do that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm thank you, and I'm just ready to blast with everybody, like straight up.
Yeah, me too. I mean, honestly, it was kind of a bad idea to put art up here. I'm surprised we didn't say anything, messed up. But yeah, no, I can't wait to party with art. We're gonna blast the shit out of the game, and it's gonna be super fun. Can't wait to do it with all of you. Can't wait to look at all the guides. We've kept a lot of things under wraps, so I'm super curious to see, how our build creators and how everybody who engages with the game cooks up some really cool stuff. So
Yeah, I think even through like all the times we've met up with players, to Team 3, thanks for being here. It's or we.
Eh. Eh. It's just, it's like, it's, people always get mad at me when because I've been making a lot of Diablo 4 content. People always get mad at me. They're like, you can't ever say anything nice about the game. Like, all you ever do is just poop on it. It's like, all right, so here we go. I'm gonna say some nice things about some of the changes they made. I think the skill changes, like the skill tree changes, look interesting. Like these changes look kind of neat. I also do feel like the Kunai's Cube edition, like I know Shocker, the D3, one of the D3 editions, is not exactly a bad change either. Like basically they brought in the Kunai's Cube, which allows you to take a unique item and put it into your Kunai's Cube and get the effect of the unique item without actually having to wear the unique item. Like those two things are neat. I'll admit those are kind of cool. I also feel like the re-edition of blues and rares into the mix is also a good addition. I mean, those are like the three things that stand out to me as good changes. Like they're good changes. And that's it. I think that's all I got for you guys. As far as the good changes go, I think that's it. I mean, as far as like bad changes, I mean, I could go on for days. Like the torment to 12 is a horrible change. The more torments you have, the more fractured your user base becomes. I've explained this about 1,000 times, but a lot of people just don't understand how it works. When you have a user base, your user base is inevitably going to fall into specific brackets. Those brackets are going to be a place where their skill level or their gear level or whatever is capable of taking them. I have a graphic which I drew here. My lovely paint skills. I know you guys are going to absolutely just love my paint skills. You guys have to see my beautiful, beautiful paint skills here. Hold on, I know, I know you guys are chomping at the bit to see my beautiful paint skills, but just give me a second. Just give me a second. I just gotta find my beautiful paint drawing. Alright, so this is essentially how things work in like torment tiers. So what you do when you create torment tiers is you create an issue in which the players get sorted essentially. Have you guys ever seen one of those coin sorting machines where like the coin rolls down a platform and there's holes in the platform that correspond with the shape of each one of the coins, and they start from like the smallest coin and then they go to the largest coin, right? So like the first hole is like dime sized, and so the dimes fall through the hole, and the second hole is like the penny sized and they drop through, and then the third hole is the nickel size, and so forth and so on, and then you get to the quarter and then the $half and so forth and so on, and it basically sorts out all the coins based on their size. Well, that's essentially how this system works, is by creating a huge number of torment tiers, you're sorting your players. Oh, there's the chicken. That's a chicken. That's not what I wanted. Give him my doojank back, chicken. That's the headless chicken. You can look it up. So it sorts out all the players, right? So you have certain players who are only capable of Torment 1, and they get sorted immediately. They're the dimes. And then you got people that are all capable of, like, Torment 5, and they get sorted, after. They're basically your pennies. And then you get people who are capable of, like, Torment 8 or 9, and they're your nickels, and so forth and so on. And the greater problem with this is what it causes is it causes a restriction in the amount of available builds. So you have all these really cool builds that you can make. Like, tons of builds. Like, every single build is basically capable of, like, Torment 1, right? But because of the way that the Torment structure works, it's a pyramid. And the further you go up, the less builds are capable of reaching that height. And when you get to the very top of the pyramid, the apex of the pyramid, there's only like a handful of builds that can handle the apex of the pyramid. And so what you do when you create these massive number of Torment tiers is you do two things. Number one is you limit the total number of builds that you can actually use within the game. So you basically filter out every single weak build in the process by making it so that those weak builds get stuck at lower tiers. Number two, you also fracture out your user base, basically making it so that there's essentially like 3 different users. There's the users that have no clue what they're doing, and get filtered accordingly into specific tiers. They never make it to the end tier, and they never join the rest of the community. These are what I call like the dad gamers, the 1 hour a week gamers that literally just have absolutely no clue what they're doing. They get filtered into specific tiers. They never join the actual community because the community always ends up gathering at a specific tier. It might not necessarily be the end tier. Like, for instance, if there's 5 Torment tiers or whatever, or 12 Torment tiers, they might start gathering at Torment 10, right? But the dad will never make it to Torment 10. He's going to fall somewhere around like 2 to 3 or whatever, and he's never going to actually join the rest of the community. That's the one type. Another type is the type that wants to pick a specific build. And by picking a specific build, they pigeonhole themselves into a specific tier. Like, for instance, one person might pick this build right here, which is this little pink dot right here in the center. And so what happens is now you're stuck in this tier. You're never going to advance to Torment 16 or Torment 12 or whatever the torments are. You're never going to advance any further than this because that is the capability of your build. Your build does not exceed this. And so what happens is you fragment out the entire user base. The last ones are the ones that always pick the strongest meta build that you can ever possibly pick. They're the ones that go for the gusto. They get the strongest characters. They're the ones that reach the Torment 16, 17, 18, like whatever the top of the pyramid is. And this is a very select group of people. The builds that are required to reach this tier are very specific. And there's really no ingenuity behind it because for the most part, most of this has already been decided and worked out by the community as possible options to reach these tiers. Or they're completely bugged builds that are doing absolutely crazy amounts of damage, like max flow overflow numbers, which is totally doable in Diablo 4 because they just have way too many multipliers, which, by the way, they're adding more multipliers. And so it fragments everybody out. You have the dads down here not playing with the people up here. You have the person over here who's not playing with anybody else because they chose a specific build that cannot go that far. And all they did is they changed it from Torment 1 to 5, and now it's Torment 1 to 12. So it's even more fractured than it will be before. So the players will just be spread out throughout this entire thing, finding the place where they rest, being sorted by the coin machine, essentially. And the issue with that this causes, which has always been the case, and now it's going to be even worse than it was before, is that you really can't play with people outside your Torment. The way that the game functions, Diablo 3, the way that Diablo 4 functions, the way that all these games function, is that if you are in, like, say, a Torment 12 character, and you want to play with your friend who's a Torment 5 character, it's, like, impossible. The Torment 5 character can never come up to Torment 12 because he's not strong enough. And the Torment 12 character can't really go back to Torment 5 because he's so strong, he literally just, like, presses one button and the whole screen explodes. Which makes it extremely unfun for the Torment 5 person who literally now can't do anything because your very presence causes the monsters to spontaneously combust. And it just creates this dichotomy of, like, fractured community, where basically nobody ever plays together. Why would you? Like, why would you ever try to sync up with another person when you're in Torment 12 and they're in Torment 5? What benefit does the Torment 5 character bring you? Doesn't bring you anything. He brings you down, not up. He doesn't give you more loot, he gives you less. He doesn't give you better loot, he gives you worse loot. In general, the entire system is designed around the aspect of know your place. Like, if you suck, we got a place for you. There's a kiddie pool over here. It's shallow. We know you can't swim. This kiddie pool is for you. This is the Torment 1 tier, Torment 2 tier, Torment 3 tier. All you little Torment 1 to 3s can belong over here in the Torment 1 to 3 like kiddie pool. And then we've got like a shallow pool over here that's like, 3 to 4 feet that you can stand up in, but you still have to kind of know how to swim and be smart enough to stand up instead of drowning. And then, this is for like your tier Torment 4 to like 6 or 7 or 8 characters. And then over here is the deep end. And then like, it's literally so deep that you can either sink or swim. That's literally all there is to it. Like a Torment 5 character tries to swim in the Torment 12 pool and just immediately drowns. Multipliers are always an issue, Charles. Always. I haven't played a single season in the past like 4 seasons that didn't have like a max overflow damage number. I mean, you can tell me it's gone all you want, but every single season for multiple seasons in a row, there's been max overflow numbers. I've done it multiple times even. Like, I mean, you can assure me all you want that this is gone, but it's not. Like, the way that they've built the game around all these multipliers and everything, there's no way it's gone. It's still gonna be there. Mark my words, I guarantee you there'll be a max overflow damage number like within 2 weeks of ladder launch. Within 2 weeks, somebody will figure out within 2 weeks of ladder launch, and they won't do anything about it because they like this stuff. They like broken stuff that draws people in. Like, oh my god, did you hear the werewolf has a blah 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 blah, and then they just let it go because that's what they like. They like people breaking the game. Have you ever heard them talk about it where they literally say, we want you to feel like you're breaking the game. We want you to feel like you're breaking the game. Notice the word feel in that sentence. They've said this sentence before. I could go look it up and show it to you. Now what that means is that they deliberately put these bugs in there for you to find. They want you to feel like you're breaking the game, so they deliberately put bugs into the game for you to find, to be like, oh wow, this is broken. Because they want you to have the feeling that you're breaking the game, because that's the best feeling. It's like, oh man, look, I can't believe I figured this out. Like, you figure out some sort of combination and you start doing like 9 quintillion damage or whatever. It's actually much more than that. It's actually like 18.4 quintillion damage because it's a negative integer. So if you guys don't know this, like, there's a max overflow number, and the max overflow number is basically like 9 max overflow 64-bit operating system or program. The max overflow is 9. I don't even know how to say it. This is the number right here. But the thing is that it goes into the negative. So if you go into the negative, which is the other way, which is basically how the system works. So once you reach the maximum positive number, it starts to travel backwards into the negative. And then the negative number becomes the max overflow negative integer, which is basically the max overflow positive integer times 2. So it's actually this number right here, which is 18 whatever. I don't even know what the hell that number even is. 18 446 744 073 709 551 615. Somebody will hit this within like 2 weeks of ladder launch. I can almost guarantee you. Why can't I copy and paste it? So basically, it's this plus this to equal the maximum number. So once you add these two together, then you get the maximum damage number that you can ever possibly get within the game. It'll happen within 2 weeks. And I don't know what else to say. Like, the affix is re-rolling, that's D3. The prefix is re-rolling is D3. Most of this stuff. So like, let's address the elephant in the room real quick, which is infinite possibilities to waste your time infinitely. This is the best way I can put this. Infinite possibilities to waste your time infinitely. One of the things that Diablo 3 did to waste your time as much as they possibly could was they gave you the ability to sit there and re-roll your items forever. Diablo 4 has expanded on that with the masterworking system, the tempering system, and now they're also giving you the ability to re-roll the affixes on the items, and then they're also giving the uniques. So uniques are items that have static modifiers. Now, they already broke the convention with uniques by allowing those modifiers to roll every single one of them, and then making it so that it was extremely difficult to be able to actually get anywhere near a perfect modifier. And then on top of that, making it so that the modifiers are so important to the item that it can completely brick the item, essentially. There's very few items like that in Diablo 2. Like, for instance, Crown of Ages is one that has 2 sockets. If it doesn't roll with 2 sockets, then that immediately bricks the item, essentially, and it's not really useful anymore. Tomb Reaver rolls with 3 sockets. If it doesn't roll with 3 sockets, then that completely breaks the item. But a lot of the times on those items, like for instance, if you did get a 2-socket Crown of Ages, most of the other rolls, although they are important, aren't really going to completely brick the item just simply because you didn't get the best roll. In Diablo 4, however, they made it so that the static modifiers were almost entirely important to the basically quality of the item. And if you didn't have an item that had like nearly perfect modifiers, well, then the item was basically worthless. And this was something that Diablo 4 did, which was a bad change in my opinion, because it made uniques less stable. To the point where you were always looking for like quad greater affic uniques with like perfect rolls and like a perfect unique modifier, and by the time you were done, like it was like Tomb Reaver level of rarity, right? Well, they took that away now too, so the uniques no longer have static modifiers. Now the uniques have rolling modifiers, like regular items essentially. So gone are the days where you find a Mage Fist, and the Mage Fist always has faster cast on it, because now when you find the Mage Fist, the faster cast might not roll on there, because they're rolling modifiers now, not static modifiers. So the uniques are going to be less useful than they were before, unless you get a perfect roll, which just increases the overall possibilities. So infinite possibilities to waste your time infinitely. It's essentially a technique that a lot of games use to artificially inflate the amount of time that you spend in the game by essentially forcing you to spend more and more time re-rolling your equipment, more and more time trying to get that perfect piece of gear, more and more time trying to get that perfect modifier, more and more time trying to get that perfect mythic item with an extra modifier of mythicness on it. Like, it's essentially just more of the same that they were doing before, which is going to lead you into an infinite number of recrafts and an infinite number of item finds trying to craft that perfect piece of equipment, which will never happen, because the more possibilities that there are, the less likely you will ever be to reach a perfect possibility. To put this into perspective, something like in a Tomb Reaver. Tomb Reaver in Diablo 2 is one of the examples of this. So if you guys have never seen a Tomb Reaver has like 1,000 modifiers on it. So let me pull up Tomb Reaver. And we're going to look at it real quick just for fun. So Tomb Reaver has a bunch of different modifiers. It has things like the enhanced damage, that's modifier number 1. It has the damage to undead, that's modifier number 2. It has the attack rating against undead, that's modifier number 3. It has the all resistances, that's modifier number 4. Life after each kill, that's modifier number 5. Magic find, that's modifier number 6. Sockets, that's magic find, modifier number 7, which actually rolls between basically terrible or good. And then it can also roll ethereal, which is modifier number 8. The problem is that as you increase the number of modifiers that you can potentially have on an item and the number of things that you can potentially roll on an item, the possibilities increase almost exponentially to a degree that you will never see a perfect piece of equipment. As an example, I can just type in, what are the odds of
and his name is John C.
A perfect ethereal Tomb Reaver in Diablo 2. So the odds of a perfect ethereal Tomb Reaver in Diablo 2 are 1 in 129 billion is what we're currently looking at. And that's just with 8 modifiers. So only with 8 modifiers, you're now at 1 in 129 billion. In Diablo 4, you have how many modifiers on an item? You have 3. We have 4 if it's a unique item. You can also add mythic modifiers. You can re-roll those modifiers now. You can temper onto the item. So how many do we have? Like if we start calculating, you've got the tempers, which is 2 tempers. You got plus 4, so they've added the tempers to the unique items now. So now you have 6. You could potentially, roll a mythic modifier onto the item, some sort of random unique effect. So that's like number 7. So we're getting very close to the number of modifiers that basically make the Tomb Reaver into its 1 in 129 billion. So we're already up to almost 7 modifiers, which is ridiculous. If we take away the ethereal, which is the 8th modifier, and you run the non-ethereal version, it's still like a 1 in 100,000 plus like drop to get a perfect non-ethereal version. And as you can see, like it just increases exponentially with each additional modifier that you're adding into the total that now has to be perfect. The more you have, the worse it gets. They're just making it more and more likely that you're going to spend an infinite amount of time re-rolling affixes, re-rolling prefixes, re-rolling the unique effects, re-rolling the actual like tempers, going through the process of playing around with the cube to try and like add in additional item levels, which item levels is another modifier. I totally forgot that one. That was actually in the Campfire, was they talked about like rolling for extra item levels on the like perfect piece of equipment once you finished it. It's just infinite possibilities to waste your time infinitely is really all it is. Like, and I get to the end of the game and I realize that I'm stuck on the hamster wheel of doom. And that's basically what the end game is going to be. The end game is just going to be you on the hamster wheel of doom trying to get your perfect items. Like infinite possibilities to waste your time infinitely. Don't ever pay attention to the fact that you're on the hamster wheel of doom, though, because the moment that you realize you're on the hamster wheel of doom, you won't want to be on it anymore. Peter Who, I was doing an interview with him one day, and he said the same thing. He said, the moment that I realize that there is no end, the moment that I realize that I'm basically on an infinite treadmill, essentially, and there's no way of actually completing my character or, like, ever finishing it, he goes, I lose all interest in playing the game. I'm right there alongside of him. I put the skill tree changes in the win category. They were already in the win category. There's a whole 3 wins. Those are my 3 wins right there. I did those first because I didn't want people to think I was only being negative. Look, I don't understand what they're doing. Like, all they're doing is they're just taking every mechanic from Diablo 3 and shoving it into Diablo 4. I used to get on people's case because they'd come in back when like Diablo 4 first launched, and it was like a mix of like Diablo 1, Diablo 2, and Diablo 3. It was definitely a mix of all 3. It had like aspects of all 3 games, and people would come in and call it Diablo 3, and I'd get pissed. I'm pretty sure I banned quite a few people for like just spamming like D3.5 in chat like over and over again, like idiots. But after 13 seasons, I mean, they were right. Like, they weren't right at the time. Like, don't get me wrong. They were not right at the time, but as the game evolved, it just became more and more Diablo 3 to the point of absurdity. And now it's got literally, like, every single Diablo 3 mechanic in it that they could possibly shove in there. And as evidence that Diablo 4 was not always Diablo 3, you can clearly see that with the stuff that they've added, these are direct rips from Diablo 3. Like, the stuff that they're adding in this season, these are just direct rips from Diablo 3. All of this stuff was missing before. So you can't really say that Diablo 4 was Diablo 3 before, because all of this stuff from Diablo 3 was missing. And now they're adding in the sets, and they're adding in the Kunai's Cube, and they're adding in the Gryphs, and they're adding in the Zoltan Cool, like backtalk, and they're adding in the more levels on the rifts, and they're adding in the D3 cube recipes, and they're adding in the ability to re-roll the affixes and prefixes on your equipment, and they're adding in the ability to recycle the uniques in the kunai's cube, which is essentially the exact same thing that you did in D3. I mean, it's basically just reuse D3 mechanics and rehash D4 mechanics to make something that looks new. I'm so glad I missed the actual live stream and I just did this whenever I felt like it, because I would have been disappointed if I had stayed up and like didn't get my nap. I would have been grumpy without my nap. I would have been a grumpy bumpy. Grumpy boy. Grumpy boy. The hell is this? This is the launch trailer.
On this day, a pilgrim comes to our shores. Let him wash in the waters.
It is in our nature to hate, and that is why I've brought you here.
He's a demon. The main...
Did they add in primals? Isn't that basically what greater affixes are in the first place?
blood burns because of him. You're in danger.
What is this place?
Skolvos is where Lilith and Inarius created mankind. I am your reckoning. If it's hell you want, I can arrange a meeting.
I cannot stop his schemes alone.
No, you need me.
I will make Mephisto pay for this. We both will, my friend. We both will.
Gazira? Gazira? Gazira. Ba 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 la 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 la. Watch the cinematic. Watch the cinematic. I did watch it. Oh wait, no, this one is what you're talking about. These Diablo cinematics have always been pretty good. Don't mind the chinchilla down there. He's just sleeping.
touch the stone, meet the same fate.
No! No! I need more time!
Shove the stone in your forehead like the Diablo 1 guy did. Neyrel, the worst character in the Diablo franchise.
I just need more time.
Time. Nothing in those scrolls will save you, Neyrel. But I can.
I want nothing from you.
You've seen what awaits. You are a part of me. But I can make better use of you.
I have seen what awaits. I will stop you!
I am untouchable.
You think you have power here?
I could do this for an eternity, Neyrel. I don't see that you have a choice, but I'd like you to say yes.
You're right. I am a part of you. I was trapped in your mind. You dream. And when you do, an ocean of twisted horrors floods your mind. I saw the sun blotted from the sky. And the darker it got, the brighter the rage of man burned. Hatred would reign. I was lost. But in that chaos, I found your greatest fear. And I will tell everyone.
Oh, child. What could I possibly fear?
And the weak were made strong. The pack of lambs would feast on their shepherd.
The prophecy? Oh, be careful, little one.
Then comes a spear of light, piercing hatred's heart.
No.
Raised to the ground by a murdered son.
Stop.
And a daughter.
Stop! I command you! You could have been so much more.
Oh look, the inevitable outcome.
Rise up, feeding the flames of unrest. It will not matter. For I am
the light and the way.
I hope she's dead. I hope she is dead. Can't stand that character. Neyrel is literally one of the worst characters in all storytelling. She's literally the definition of, like, I don't know any better, I'm gonna do what I want. Ends up putting herself in horrible danger, gets people killed, like, causes people tons of strife, runs off on her own to go die and cause even more trouble. It's just, Neyrel is the worst character In the history of characters. Here's an AI response. Neyril from Diablo 4 is a highly polarizing character with a significant portion of the player base expressing frustration with their role in the story. She has irritating behavior. Critics frequently describe her as a whiny or entitled brat who ignores the wisdom of seasoned veterans. Naive decision-making. Many users feel her stupid decisions, I added stupid decisions to take the Soulstone of Mephisto alone was irrationally stupid. Oh, like they had that in there anyway. Forced relevance. Players complain that she's forced into the role of the main character, stealing the spotlight from the player. Characters similar to critiques of unpopular NPCs and other RPGs. Plot armor. Some viewers feel she has an excessive plot armor, emerging relatively unscathed despite her high stakes and reckless actions. And you know what? I'm glad she's dead. Die. I hope she is. I hope she's actually dead and not just fake dead. Because if she comes back, I'll be disappointed. If she comes back to life, I'll be disappointed. She needs to not come back to life. That would be great. I wish Tyrael needs to come down and like take her soul to heaven or something so that we never see her again. You know, there's some sort of like poetic justice in the fact that Mephisto has taken over Akarat. Like 1,000 times and 1,000 ways, I've literally talked about how the Crusader is not the Paladin, and the Paladin is not the Crusader, and that literally the Crusader is just like a mock version of the Paladin. And who was the Crusader's champion? Do you guys remember? It was Akarat. The Crusader's champion is literally Akarat, and Mephisto now has control over Akarat, corrupting the Crusaders even more than they were before. So he's going to take the Crusaders and corrupt them as well, which were the only ones that weren't corrupted, by the way, because he already corrupted the Paladins. So now he's going to corrupt the Crusaders too. So congratulations. The Crusaders get corrupted. Everybody gets corrupted. Your mom gets corrupted. She was already corrupted. Let's be honest. She was already corrupted. This is some bullcrap right here, man. Like, this is some absolute bullshit. Like, you don't hear me cuss very often, but like, this is just the dumbest stuff ever. Like, I don't know who thinks that this is good. Like, who at Blizzard really thinks that adding in like 1,000 torment tiers is really like good, solid gameplay? Because that guy needs to be fired. Whoever was the one that said, hey, let's add more torment tiers, he needs to be fired. Whoever was the guy who was like, hey, adding more torment tiers sounds like a good idea, let's do that, that guy needs to be fired too. Whoever was the one that okayed more torment tiers, he also needs to be fired. Like, they all need to be fired. Just completely, just boot them straight out of the company. Yeah. I'm tired of being nice about stuff like this. These are horrible ideas, and they've proven horrible in the past. In Diablo 3, the torment tiers literally proved to be one of the worst things about the game because they fractured the entire player base and made it so that nobody could play together. And they were just dumb. They were dumb. They've always been dumb. And then, like, even in Diablo 3, they realized they were dumb. There was like a whole torment tier like reduction season. I don't know if you remember that in Diablo 3 where they actually like lowered the number of torment tiers because they feel like they'd messed up and they like brought it down. And somebody at Blizzard was like, nah, why did we bring him down? Let's just add more torment tiers again. Let's just add more. And then they brought it right back up again after they brought them down. So, like, there was a whole season where they brought the torment tiers down in Diablo 3, and it was a good season. And then they brought them back up again, like, a couple seasons later, and they just added all the torment tiers back. This is just stupid. This is just brain-dead stuff. Like, infinite scaling on an infinite hamster wheel. It's dumb. I mean, the moral of the story is I've been asked this question before, and there's somebody in chat who's asking it right now. So what's the answer to the question? Why? So let's do it like this. Why do developers have infinite scaling like torment tiers, pit tiers, greater rifts, etc.? What's the reasoning behind it? The underlying reason behind all of it is essentially this simple term. We can't balance our game. That's the reason. The problem becomes is if you can't balance your game, or if you're unwilling to balance your game, or you have made it impossible to balance your game in any way, shape, or form, the easiest way to deal with that lack of balance is just simply to make an infinite number of difficulties that will absorb the infinite number of builds that are infinite numbers of like power levels, right? So if you have a build that is power level 1, it gets sorted into Torment 1, and so forth and so on. And if you have a character who is power level, like 5, he gets sorted into Torment 5, and so forth and so on. And basically all this does is it essentially washes their hands of the need to actually balance the game and make the game into an interesting, mechanically sound, enterprise, as opposed to what they're doing, which is essentially just making an infinite number of tiers to absorb the infinite number of builds with the infinite number of power scaling to basically make it so that there's always a place for you no matter what. So if you happen to have a build that's super ridiculously overpowered, like power level 150, then there's going to be a place for you in pit level 150. Like they basically have a place for every single character of every single power level, instead of just picking a difficulty and balancing the game around that. The way that most games do it is they go, okay, we're going to pick a difficulty. So there's 3 difficulties in the game: normal, nightmare, and hell. And we're going to pick one of these difficulties, and we're going to balance the entire game around it. So we're going to pick hell difficulty, and we're going to balance the game around this difficulty so that all the characters essentially are balanced around hell difficulty. That's how Diablo 2 does it. Not Diablo 3, not Diablo 4. What they do is they just make 1,000 million difficulties, so there's always a place for you to go. And it's stupid because in Diablo 2, where does everybody gather? Inevitably, where does everybody gather in Diablo 2? They gather in hell difficulty, right? So this is the hell is where players gather. This is basically a standard, right? So as people play the game, they are gathering in one place. And all of your commerce, all your trade, all your gameplay, everything that you do is in hell. So all your player base is in one place together, right? If you join a game for whatever reason, you're in the same place. And so they balance the game around that difficulty. But that's not the case with the scaling difficulties. With the scaling difficulties, there is no single place. There's never going to be a single unified place where everyone gathers, because nobody is ever going to be a single unified power level. Especially when you have basically different power levels for every class. So I think there's usually... what is it, season 12? Let's see if I can find the pit tiers by class. I usually end up looking up, where is the rankings? Yeah, here it is. Actually, I don't remember where it is. There's usually, I think it's on the Icy Veins page, there's usually like a list of the endgame pushing for each class and what each class is capable of within that period. I think Leon has the list usually. And basically what it shows is it shows how high each class is capable of pushing into the difficulties. And what it usually shows, here's one right here. What it usually shows is that none of the classes are in the same place. There's like rarely ever a gathering point where they all sort of like sit in the same spot. Like in this particular season, you can see the sorcerer, the sorceress is tier 116 at the best. You got rogue, barbarian, druid, and necromancer, and spiritborn all seem to be around 122 to 120. But the difference in one tier around that tier is like massive. And then the paladin is at one tier 134, right? So like every season with the changes in the game, like every single time there's like one character that's at really low tiers, one character is capable of like really high tiers, and so forth and so on. And there's no like overall gathering spot for everybody to actually play in. which is what this is, right? So with this one, everybody's in the same place. Everybody's in the same difficulty. Everybody's fighting the same monsters. Everybody has to gear their character for the same content, right? But like when it comes to Diablo 4, like that's not how it works because not everybody's playing the same game. Like the Paladin is up here at tier 134. The Spiritborn is in tier 122. The Sorceress is in tier 116 and so forth and so on. And that's only specific builds, right? So specific builds, the strongest build on the character are capable of this. But when you start to go with other builds, those builds filter out differently as well. So if you take like a Necromancer, for instance, and this particular build seems to be a Golem Reap build. Yeah, Golem Reap build. So this Golem Reap build is capable of 122. And then you try another build like Bone Spear, and you can only get like Pit 100. And then you try another build, and you do maybe like the Blood build, and you can only hit like Pit 110, and so forth and so on. And like every single build essentially is capable of a different difficulty, and you're just all filtered out into this madness, where basically every character and every build gets filtered in a different place. It's stupid. I hate it. It's stupid, and I hate it. I think it's the dumbest way to build a game. This is so dumb. So dumb. I don't know. I thought there was supposed to be patch notes on here, but the patch notes are like super small. What the hell's that about? There was a link to them. And then I pulled it up and it was like baby notes. Baby notes. Yeah, baby notes. Baby notes. I mean, yeah, this doesn't seem to be it because these are just baby patch notes. There's no way that's the expansion, like the Lord of Hatred full expansion patch notes. That doesn't make any sense. Oh my god, the D2 stuff is freaking scary as all get out. It's like they're trying to like infect Diablo 2 with Diablo 3 loot pinata crap. The number of people that have like the most crazy mental gymnastics around the drops too. Like I can't understand. It's that I'm really hoping that they don't go forward with the changes to Diablo 2 because it's just gonna completely ruin Diablo 2. Check out the cinematic for PoE 2. Yeah, I did. I have no clue. Like, I'm not a big fan of Path of Exile 1. I don't really like Path of Exile 1. So, like, I'm sure there's probably some sort of spoiler there. If I played Path of Exile 1, I would know more about what's going on. The Return of the Ancients, I don't know anything about the Ancients. I mean, it looks cool. I'm gonna play the next Path of Exile 2 season. I definitely want to play the next Path of Exile 2 season. I'm hoping we get some information on what's going on with Diablo 2 as well. And then, I don't know if you guys heard, but like the No Rest for the Wicked 1.0 update's coming soon, which is actually pretty exciting. I'm kind of excited to give the 1.0 update a try. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot going on right now. I mean, there's the D4 expansion. What is it, on April 27th? There's also the PoE 2 live. When was the live scheduled for? Where they're gonna like go over all the information. May 7th. So May 7th is the PoE live for PoE 2. That's going to go over the new information for the 0.5 update. And then we also have information on the No Rest for the Wicked 1.0 update Although we don't have a date, we did have like a cryptic comment by one of the devs, and there's also a live stream. So there's going to be a big 1.0 information live stream for the No Rest for the Wicked on March 6th. So No Rest for the Wicked, March 6th live stream. So I'm assuming we'll probably get a date at that point. And then, of course, we also have the D2 stuff. So, like, we have the D2 PTR that finished. Like, it's done, but we have no information on the conclusion of what the PTR decided. Like, everybody gave their feedback. Like, there's definitely room to change things, wiggle things around. I feel like there's probably going to be some changes to what they did. I mean, I can't imagine for the life of me that patch for the PTR for Diablo 2 just simply goes live. I cannot imagine it. It seems like the dumbest patch in the world if it goes live. There's just too much wrong with it. Like, they can't just make that live and then just move on. It's dumb. Now, granted, there are some good things in the patch that need to stay, and there's some bad things in the patch that need to change, and there's some weird things in the patch that definitely need to be adjusted. But like, I don't know what they're gonna do. Really, I really don't. I also don't know when this patch is actually gonna go live. Like, is it gonna go live next season? Question mark. Because next season, if as far as I'm aware, would be like June, I think. So like, it wouldn't be until June that we would see the changes if they don't put them forward till next season. If these patch changes go in before next season, which seems like a mid-season patch, like maybe a mid-season patch, then I guess we'll see them before then, so we can test them out at least. But we won't be able to like use them in a new season until next season, essentially. I don't know. Looks like it's gonna be pretty crazy coming up, like with a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not like super to give you like my personal opinion on what I think I'm probably gonna do with the Diablo 4 expansion. I'm probably gonna play the campaign. I might check out the Warlock. That's my planned character, is just to check out the Warlock. I may look at some of the changes that they did to the other classes and see if there's anything really interesting that sparks my interest. Because you know me, if something sparks my interest, then I'm going to hop over and I'm going to check it out. If nothing sparks my interest, then I'm not going to do anything. But if they made some really interesting changes that I'd like to check out, then you'll probably see me over there checking them out on some of the other characters. But I definitely want to check out the Warlock. I have no intention of playing that Crusader like character that they added. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I wish they would just change the name to Crusader. There's no reason to call that thing a paladin. It's not a paladin. It's a disgrace to the name of paladins. I don't expect to be playing very long. Maybe like 1 to 2 weeks, if I'm lucky. If you're lucky, if like you really want me to play Diablo 4, I might be playing for like 1 to 2 weeks. I feel like there's at least like 2 or 3 days of campaign to go through, and there might be like some of the changes and stuff that I'd want to take a look at. Supposedly they added the cow level finally. I keep hearing rumors about them adding the cow level, so I could check out the cow level. I don't know. Other than that, I don't know. I'll probably end up quitting playing like pretty quickly. What is that? April 27th to May 7th. So like that gives me a solid what is that? 1 week, 2 weeks. So like 2 weeks essentially until the PoE 2 live. That'll probably kill it right there. Like any interest that I have in Diablo 4 will probably die the moment that I see the PoE 2 live. I'll probably just move on. It'd be interesting to see when that launches. Hopefully it doesn't launch at the same time as the D2R season. I'm tired of the seasons overlapping. There's a lot of cool stuff going on, though. Definitely a lot of interesting little things to me take a look at. Right now, though, to be honest with you, I mean, I was going like nonstop for a while. It was like the D2 and then like the D2 season, and then like before that, I mean, you can like, yeah, let's do this. That's the easiest way. I mean, like if you scroll back, I mean, you can see I did like the D2 season pretty much every single day of the D2 season for quite a long time. I also did preseason, and then I made all the videos preseason, and then I did the No Rest for the Wicked patch, and then like I dove straight from like Path of Exile 2 with the werewolf druid essentially straight into No Rest for the Wicked, and then I went straight from No Rest for the Wicked into the D2 patch, and I haven't really had much time for rest. I've actually taken a couple days off recently here because I'm just tired. I'm very tired. It looks like it's going to be really hectic coming up soon, so it might be a good time to just relax and just take some naps and you know, have some fun and just sit there and do the doojanks. And then we'll pick this up as soon as the season starts. I should probably go ahead and just make my live stream for Diablo 4. I can schedule that in advance. I can also schedule the Path of Exile live stream. Schedule a bunch of live streams. I can schedule everything in advance, like way far in advance. It's pretty cool. You sent me a funny video. What is this video that you sent it me? I see nothing in my doojanks, sir, ma'am. I said, sir. That's my girlfriend, ma'am. I see nothing in here, ma'am. Nothing. There is nothing in here. You lie to me. Every time I see Diablo 4 Campfire, I get depressed. Was it the 2nd May for the letter reset that would make Descents D4 coming out on the 28th of April? They want to bring players out to buy. I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably just go ahead and like get some things scheduled today. I mean, what are my schedules? So we've got April 27th at hold on. I have the doojank. April 27th at 7 p.m. PDT. So I'd probably get started around like 6. So let's say 6 EST. And then we also have the PoE2 live coming on May 7th, which I believe the PoE2 live is, what time did they say it was? 1 p.m. PDT. 1 p.m. PDT is like, what is that, like 3 or 4? Yeah, it's like 4 EST. 4 EST. And then the No Rest for the Wicked live is let's gather all the doojanks so we have them all set up in advance. There's no time written here. There's no time. The big 1.0 patch, 6th of March, Q&A and summary. Boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Facebook reel. Somebody doing their beard up. Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing, babe. Here, I'll restart my phone. Maybe that'll fix it. Upcoming events. That's what I'm gonna label this. Upcoming events. Alright, there's our upcoming events. And schedule live stream. Path of Exile 2. Wah, wah. What the hell do they call the new Path of Exile 2 update? Do they got a name for it? Return of the Ancients. Burr, burr. Does anybody know anything about the Ancients they want to share? Like, I don't know anything about the Ancients. Rota. It's the Rota expansion. Or Rota patch. The Rota. I need to make a thumbnail. Creating the thumbnail is what we do. Path of Exile #2. You farted in your face. I don't know what to place. And what do I got in here for Path of Exile 2? Like key art. Actually, let me see if I can find a Path of Exile 2 Return of the Ancients key art. I like that one. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. I like big butts, and I do. Yeah. Butts. I think there's a suitable image. I think there's a suitable image at the end of this we could use. Yeah. Okay, hold on. That'll work. Rota. Bink. Alright, and this one was going to be what? 4 EST Eastern Standard, so we can schedule this for like 3 p.m. Eastern Standard on May 7th. Works good. Look, it's scheduled. There we go. Scheduled for your viewing pleasure. Would I ever do a lore series on Path of Exile 2? The lore on Path of Exile 2 is so weird. I don't really know. I don't really know about that. It's pretty darn weird. Get a nice little copy pasta. Gotta change up some of the doojanks. What is this, season 13? Look at all these builds that don't matter anymore. All these fun builds that I created. Really useless. All the tutorial videos I made for Diablo 4, pretty useless. They changed the game so many times, I mean, like, made it next to impossible to make any content for the game because the game just constantly changed every single patch. How much does -8 physical resistance make a difference? I'm trying to decide if I want to put a 1540 in a perfect area or the new protector stone. I would only put the 1540 in a helmet if you need to hit a breakpoint, new era collector. 40% enhanced damage is relatively meaningless in the grand scheme of things. I mean, yes, 1540 jewels are expensive for a reason, but it's mainly because 40% enhanced damage is good on weapons. So enhanced damage, depending on where you put it, changes depending on like the socket. If you put it in a helmet, it's 40% off weapon damage, and it's basically useless. If you put it in a weapon, it's 40% on weapon damage, and it's massive amounts of increase. There's a huge difference between on weapon and off weapon enhancement. The reason why 1540s are super valuable is because of what you get when you put them in a weapon, not what you get when you put them in an armor or a helmet or a shield. I don't know if I would put a 1540 in an Ariats. I would probably save that for something good. You could probably trade for like a 1538 or a 1536 or something if you really want to put that in your Ariats. But like, I don't know. Burrune is also really good. That's what you're talking about, or you're talking about the new Guardian Jewel. Yeah, Guardian Jewel's pretty good too. I wouldn't think it wouldn't be. All right, let's make a cool thumbnail for launch day. Let's make a thumbnail for launch day. Let's make a thumbnail. That big old chinchilla butt in your face. How you guys like that? You guys like chinchilla butts, right? Bum, 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 bum. I don't like how they shaped this thing. This thing's terrible looking. He look like he's holding it in his hand. There you go. It's fine. Bink. Bink. I believe this is season 13, right? Would I ever check out the new content for Night Rain? What's Night Rain? Are you talking about, what are you talking about? I'm confused. Elden Ring? Is that what you're talking about? Ring of Fire for Night Rain. I mean, I pretty much got what I wanted out of Night Rain. It was neat. I mean, I didn't think it was like the craziest thing in the world, but Elden Ring. Ring of Fire. Why can I not find anything on it at all? I don't know. I mean, if you guys want to play one day, we could certainly, like, schedule in a day. I mean, how many days we got until Diablo 4 expansion? We've got, was that 1, 2, one today. So I still count today. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got like 5 days. I was actually thinking about hopping back on Arc Raiders for a little while. I actually really enjoy Arc Raiders. I didn't really get a chance to like play as much as I wanted to. Could be fun to hop in for some more Arc Raiders. I mean, Diablo 2 season's pretty much over. I already did my solo self-found run on the Warlock. PTR's over. I gave my feedback on the PTR. We're waiting on PTR results, so if anything comes back and we actually get some like feedback on the PTR, I don't think anything has like come back at all. I'm pretty sure that like they're not gonna give us anything really for Diablo 2. Their focus has shifted almost entirely to the Diablo 4 expansion, so I don't think we're in their eyeball anymore. They use the Diablo 2 community to build hype for the Diablo 4 expansion, which is exactly what everyone knew they were doing. I'm taking a look at the forums right now to see if there's anything on there, looking for like blue posts or anything. I mean, there hasn't really been anything since like April 16th. So, I mean, we're currently sitting in the dead zone. No real information at all. There's nothing on the D2 news page either. Yeah, there's nothing on here either. There's just the PTR, which was on April 10th. That's the last update that they gave us for that. And I'm pretty sure the PTR is down, right? You can't access the PTR anymore. I'm pretty sure if you try and log into the PTR, it's going to give you an error message and kick you back out. Yeah, just kicks you back out. The PTR is all over the place. It's like some good changes, some really bad changes, some really weird changes. Like it's just all over the place. I did a couple videos on it. I highlighted the drop table stuff with the heralds and like the bad meta change and like some of the good changes that they made, some of the bad changes. They fixed some bugs and then that caused a bunch of other like hoopla because now people are like the Tainted is too powerful. I don't know. I feel like people actually need to play the Tainted in an actual real configuration before they judge whether it's too powerful or not. I just don't know. Everybody quit Arc Raiders for Marathon. Arc Raiders. It's like the player counts stayed pretty steady on Arc Raiders. Let's go back 3 months. So 3 months it was around 400,000 and now it's down to 82,000. So yeah, it looks like it's had a steady decline. I was looking at the 1 week. Yeah, meh, okay. Yeah, yeah. So definitely something happened. Caused the community to just simply die off. Big update at the end of the month. I could explain it. It does look like there's like an up and a down motion sometimes to it, I guess, when the updates release. I don't know what to do in this downtime. I've been watching movies and stuff. I don't know about you guys. I've been catching some like TV shows and I watched some like anime shows. I watched one about I watched the craziest anime about a guy who reincarnated as a vending machine, and that was like the stupidest thing I'd ever watched, but it was addicting because they kept bringing out new vending machines I've never seen before. Like, he brought out this one vending machine, which is apparently, like, the world's largest vending machine. Some sort of, like, crazy building-sized vending machine that exists. Apparently, Japan is, like, absolutely obsessed with vending machines for some reason. And they made, like, a car vending machine, and they made a giant ice vending machine, and, like, a bunch of other crazy things. Like, it's literally a vending machine the size of a building. And the dude literally just transforms into vending machines. Like, any vending machine he can transform into. Including, like, really weird vending machines, like ones that vend out, like, defibrillators and all sorts of other crazy stuff from Japan. Apparently, Japan really loves their vending machines. They're, like, vending machine happy. They've got the craziest vending machines ever. We can't compete, guys. Japan wins when it comes to vending machines. They're over here vending cars and like defibrillators and emergency like shelter kits and like all sorts of other things. If you got the scratch, they got the doojanks. Whatever you want in the vending machine, they got it. There's an ice vending machine too. It's like a giant ice vending machine that's the size of a building. Apparently it was in a fishing harbor and it just gave out like massive amounts of ice. And I know way too much about vending machines now after watching the show. Like the sheer amount of vending machine knowledge that was shoved into my brain is too much. I can't handle it. Like this big old jambalam. This is a ice vending machine. Apparently, like the ships will come up, and the ships need ice for to go fishing to keep all the fish for us. So they just have this like giant ice vending machine on the side of the wharf, and the boats come up and they just fill up on ice. Like you put in your money and it just starts chunking out ice. Fill up your whole ship with ice. Did I check out the new Star Trek Academy? No, I haven't checked it out. I kind of want to just like go through some Steam games. Let's take a look at the store. I haven't really taken a look at the store in quite some time. What they got on here? Steam Medieval Fest, now through April 27th. I like medieval games. I am a medieval game enjoyer. Medieval. I was thinking about Manor Lords, but it seems like way too involved. I don't know. Has anybody played Manor Lords, and like, is it a good game? Is it a poopy game? Like, it kind of seems like one of those games that could be good, but it seems overly complicated. Like, am I wrong that it kind of seems overly complicated? I don't know. I don't know. That looks like Cthon. Definitely not interested in Cthon. Mr. Farm Boy. Looks like something my girlfriend would like. You're moving to an island. Start from nothing. It's very Stardew Valley-ish. My girlfriend loves Stardew Valley. And anything like Stardew Valley. Never was big into RuneScape, Vicious. Never was big into RuneScape. Crusader Kings. I don't like that style of game. Dark Souls 3. Mountain Blade. Black Desert. Blech. Blech. One of the worst MMOs I've ever played. I've played a lot of MMOs in my time. I've played MMOs that are space-based, like EVE Online. I've played MMOs like Final Fantasy 11 that are like horribly grindy. I've played Final Fantasy 14, Lord of the Rings Online, like Conan, like all sorts of freaking MMOs. Dude, this MMO, that one right there, Black Desert Online, one of the worst MMOs I have ever played. It is like the most grindy, stupid, just like waste your time style MMO that ever existed. I pray for people that get addicted to that game because it's awful. I actually have an email from the people who made this game. I don't know about this game or if I would even want to play it. I just don't know. It looks mildly like something I would be interested in, and then it also looks mildly like something I would not be interested in. Like, it kind of seems like a little bit of both, like the things I like and the things I hate, all in one game. Not really sure what to think about this one. Kind of seems mildly like a game I would enjoy, mildly not like a game I would enjoy. I can't really put my finger on it. Could be interesting to dive into this one. I'm gonna add that one to my wish list. I'll think about it. Yeah, as much as people like Witcher 3, I just could never get into Witcher 3. It's on sale, though, for 80% off if you guys want to pick it up. Turn-based strategy game. No, thank you. The Farthest Frontier. Kind of reminds me of Black and White. Hey, look, it's Crimson Slop. I did hear there was an update for Kingdom Come Deliverance, too. I actually thought maybe we're going back in and playing that. There was some DLC or something. I don't really know. Pull up that old Lotro account. Let's see what I've got going on. That thing's changed so much, Vicious. Like, I don't... My original character is so out of date at this point, like, it wouldn't even be comparable. Medieval Crafter 1.0. Blacksmithing. I don't know about that one. Bellwright. Establish and expand your own settlements. Popular discounted. New releases. Your Majesty. RPG. Why is turn-based strategy in my RPGs? I don't consider turn-based strategy really to be an RPG. Like, I mean, I guess technically, like, from the strictest standpoint, I suppose you could make a turn-based strategy be an RPG, like by equipping a gear and stuff like that to your character and whatnot, but I don't know. Like, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm not against turn-based strategy games. I don't think they're the most awful thing in the world, but it's not what I'm looking for. Kingdom Come Deliverance is on sale for $5.99. I don't think I have the first game on Steam. I do not believe I do. Medieval Dynasty. What is that? Did I already look at this one? It's a building. I don't, nah, meh. Traveler's Rest. That's an MMO. I don't care about that.
The first major update for Bladesong is here. Chapter 2, The Shattered Mask, is a brand new story chapter, introducing 2 new factions, new sword paths, and expanded gameplay. After the events of Chapter 1, Eren Keep is on edge. In Chapter 2, you must take desperate measures to investigate the fate of the missing orphans and join a secret conspiracy to bring down the tyrannical Masked King. This update introduces 2 new factions, each with their own bender and sword paths. Blessed by the voices during the Age of Song, the Anointed have lost their spiritual and political power in the Sundering, and now seek new authority in a changed world. Drawing from their rich pantheon brings it to match both the Forge and...
I'm confused.
More in this updative mode, Mask and take...
Like, why have, like...
Replication commissions are...
Why have this advanced blade crafting system, but then that's your gameplay? They didn't show any gameplay whatsoever, right? So that's probably the gameplay right there. It's just simply going through these menus and talking to NPCs and choosing choices and things like that. That's the gameplay right there. The scarred ruffians at the bar known as crows, because, like crows, they are cunning scavengers, pecking at the wounds of the dying world. Warriors and wanderers, the crows venture outside the Eren Keep to work as sellswords for mad warlords, or to plunder the wasteland for loot from the bygone age. The den is where they drink to forget what they have seen. The crows make up the bulk of the den's customer base, but there are others. A man sits in the corner. His soft features and slight build make him an outsider. By health, by hearth, as a bard plucks at his loot at the nearby table, a pair of off-duty guardsmen playing cards. I approach the bar. The barkeep is ensnared in an argument with one of the crows. The crow is a hulking figure, arms corded with muscle, bald-headed except for the black topknot. He is also drunk beyond redemption. Even his comrades have given up on him for the night. You catch him in mid-rant as you approach the bar. Marwyn, if the citizens in this thrice-damned keep had half a spine, you'd rip that mask off and see what you're really bowing to. The crow may be huge, but the barkeep isn't a small man either, and he stares down at the crow without apparent fear, casually reaching under the bar to some hidden implement of war. I mean, granted, it gives me a chance to exercise my Awesome narration voice. But I like to eat pudding. Battle Brothers. Open world, medieval, strategy, sandbox. That does not look like anything what they just said. I held my mouse over it and I was like, what the hell is that? A CRPG dungeon crawler. Ancient Kingdoms. Play Baldur's Gate 3? I've already played Baldur's Gate 3. And I don't want to have sex with the owl bear. Thank you very much. Why don't you have sex with the owl bear? You like that sort of thing. That's what you like. You've never played BG3? Then how do you know about the owl bear, Vicious? Then how do you know about the owl bear? You've obviously been up to no good. Corruption Town. Sexual content, female protagonist, nudity, mature, not safe for work. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Butt cheeks everywhere. Oh Lord Jesus, what did I click on? Back it out. Back it out. Well, there you go, guys. If you need something to polish the old sword to, apparently Corruption Town is it. What the hell is this? That actually looks kind of neat.
Once upon a time, a young man set out to save his immortal soul. You stay quiet, fiend. That was me, by the way.
Yeah, you stay quiet, fiend. Oh my god.
I met many good
Did I just
men
see an Ace
along the
Ventura
way,
reference?
But also not so good ones. You're the latter, bastard. The kinds of villains I've seen. Want some? Somewhere on the edge of the Thrice-Nine Kingdom when it began to take hold.
What kind of fever dream is this?
You good, old man?
I'm bad.
What the hell is this? This looks like an ARPG, but everybody's tripping on shrooms.
Once upon a
Mixed reviews. As of writing this review, there's no way to turn off screen shake. Not only that, but the version of the screen shake they're using is more like screen jerk. Oh man. Look, if I want to jerk it, I don't want to do that on my own. I don't need assistance unless it's from my beautiful lady. Apparently it's about Slavic folklore. As a young bogatir, journey the thrice nine kingdom and challenge Koshai the Deathless to save your immortal soul in Bylina. You know what? Added. Oblivion Game of the Year edition. We got Gothic 1 on here. You know, I played a lot of RPGs back in the day. I could never get into Gothic. There's some people on my channel, too, that, like, swear by Gothic games. I could never get into Gothic. I don't know what it was about them. I just never really enjoyed them. Nested Lands.
Bring out your dead.
Yeah, bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead.
Bring them. That's a Monty Python reference right there. That's a good sign. Immediate Monty Python reference.
What the hell is that smell?
The graphics look terrible.
Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead.
Yeah, I played Clair Obscura.
Bring out your dead.
Castlecraft. Dwarves. You get to play a mouse. And you get to beat up rats. Looks like a puzzle game. He's got armor on. Look at his armor. And he waddles because it's really heavy. Look. Ghost of a Tale. Huh. That looks really good, and it's cute, and it's $1.99. It's really neat. The frog, this is what sold it for me right here. The frog in the... He's got a peg leg. I didn't notice. He's a pirate frog. He's got one eye, one leg, and he's stuck in the freaking shackles. I do. I like how this looks. It's only $1.99. I'm adding it to cart. Let's go. 90% off. $1.99. That's dirt cheap. There, if you guys want to pick it up too, $1.99. Why not? 90% off is crazy. It's normally $20, and instead it's $2. Candy bars are more expensive than that. The Life and Suffering of Sir Bronte. Doesn't look intriguing at a glance. Of Ash and Steel. I actually played that. I do not recommend. I do not recommend. Legendary Tales. It's a VR game. Turn-based combat. Turn-based strategy. Not interested. Meh. Heads will roll. And there's so many turn-based games. All the turn-based games in the world, my friend. Choose your own adventure. Become a medieval blacksmith. Where the Winds Meet. Yeah, some people were talking about Where the Winds Meet in reference to Crimson Desert. That doesn't inspire a lot of, like, it doesn't inspire a lot of faith from me. I really didn't like Crimson Desert. And they were like, yeah, it's like Crimson Desert. It's like made by, an Asian company, and like it's crap. I'm like, oh, okay, and it's poopy. Another VR game that I can't play. Somebody buy me a super fancy VR headset so I can play VR on stream. Super fancy VR headset. I'ma need one. Come on down. Gonna get that bang on headset. Come on down. We got a bang on down. The year is 1428.
Take only what you can easily transport and burn the rest.
The streets are full of people, but I can't hear any inside cannons.
Delay them for as long as possible and then withdraw to the new town walls.
They were doing something fancy in there. Ars Notora. Open world survival craft. A dark fantasy simulation. Survive. Ugh, he's got a doo-doo stain on his butt. Yeah, you punch that wolf. Punch that wolf in his face. Don't tell him nothing. Punch that wolf in his muffin. Gonna stuff in. Magic. 6 schools of magic. Seems like it says November 27th, 2025. This seems like a game that was made in like 2008. How tall am I? Tall. Very tall. I'm 6'3". I tower over most people. It's very rare that I come across anybody that's taller than me. When I do, it's usually like, oh wow, he's taller than me. I can't believe it. Viking Frontiers. Ah. Build your own village in the depths of the cold where the ice and the mold grow deep and old. Everybody needs a wax and a axe and a gonna make everything in the lax. Spear some fish in the deep and the dark and make a shift to kill your friends. Get a wolf pelt, put it on your back, and now you're a Viking in a hack. Get a freaking bow. Carve some runes, make some skins, and you can go. It's a Viking adventure, sir. Get your longbow and let's go. Get your longbow and let's go. Viking frontiers, let's go. I'm not gonna lie, it seems kind of cute. I'm not really sure what the point of it is. Like, at some point or another, a survival game needs 2 things. Number 1, it needs a good survival aspect, right? The game has to be fun in the survival aspect. And number 2, it has to have a good reason why you're trying to survive. Like, if there's no good reason for your survival, if there's no, like, imminent threat or, like, attacks that are constantly happening or, like, reasons why you're trying to survive, the survival becomes less important because you don't really need to do those things to survive, and in fact you could just be lazy and just not do anything. A good example of this is a game that I've played many times and I actually really recommend. It's Sons of the Forest. I'm not sure if you guys have ever played Sons of the Forest, but I can, hold on, let me pull it up in a tab here. So Sons of the Forest, I actually have really wanted to go back to and check it out ever since I played it the first time, because it came out in 2024, but they did a lot of like updates and things to it, And it's a really interesting game because you don't just survive, like you get attacked constantly, like you're trying to solve a mystery. There's a reason why you're trying to survive. You go through the process of like collecting, arrows and tools and various things that you can use to like invade caves and figure out what's going on in the caves. And then once you've invaded the caves, you like learn the secrets there, and it advances the story plot and whatnot. And there's like an actual reason for you to survive. Like, if you really want to play a really cool survival game, like Sons of the Forest is probably one of the coolest survival games I've played in recent years. Just simply because it's not just a survival game, it's a survival game with a story, and there's like constant attacks on your base, so you have to learn how to defend your base against those attacks. And it's really neat. Like the survival system is neat, the building system is neat. It's spooky because the monsters are always sneaking up on you trying to eat your face, which is the whole thing. I don't know. It could be fun to like dive back into Sons of the Forest. They've done a lot of updates since I stopped playing too. They added like a glider and a whole bunch of other cool things. I'm trying to think like how many updates to Sons of the Forest have there been since the glider? The glider was when I stopped playing. Mm-hmm. 14 additional major updates since the glider. 14 additional updates since the glider. Interesting. So it released on what? February 22nd, 2022. So it looks like there was, wow. Yeah. So since the release, there was a ton of updates. Small updates, regular updates. 1.0 major release was February 22nd. These are all pre 2024. Hold on. Where's the after 2024 updates? Because I know there was a bunch of updates after that. Unless I bought it. Did I buy it before it launched? God dang, now they got me questioning myself. I don't even know if I bought it before they launched or after it launched. March 10th, 2023 was apparently when I did my review, which was right here. So since I last played, there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Wow, 36 updates and then the 1.0 major release. So like 37 updates and 1.0 was released since the last time I played. Might be a good time to dive back into some Sons of the Forest for a little while. I had a lot of fun with this game. I actually dived back in several times because I was having so much fun. I went back in like a lot more than I should have, even after I beat the game. That could be a fun one. We might think about that. Might think about that today. Maybe we hop in today and play some Sons of the Forest. Loot of Bale. Idegard. Idegard, Hodegard, Hedegard, Hodegard? Hodegard, Heidegard, Hedegard, Hodegard? It's a third-person co-op action RPG where players shapeshift into animals to fight. Based in the plague-ridden 1500s of Norway. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Meh. Do I even have Sons of the Forest even installed? Library, Sons of the Forest. Ah. I got your paw. What you gonna do about that? I got his paw, and I was gonna rip it. I was gonna rip it off. Give me this paw. This my paw. Give me this paw. Give me this paw. Give me both of these paws. Give me them both. Coda said, "What the hell did I do?"
Coda, give me the hood. Come on, give me the hood. Come on, give me the hood. He said, "I don't like you. You're not very nice." Did you find something down there? Was it a chip'em? Come on up here and give me a hug, fart face. Come on, big old baby. Come on, big jiggo. That's a big old boy. What's the matter? Do you gotta go pep him doo-doo? You gotta go pep him doo-dos? You gotta go doo-dos? Cody, do you want to play some Sons of the Forest and you want to get chased around by monsters? No, no licks, liquor boy. He said, "Don't talk to me about nothing." Cody, you like bourbon twists? Oh, no. Do you like bourbon twists? Do you like monster hands on loads? If I do this, and then I'm going to like this, and then we're going to take your teeth and I was going to reach in there, and I was going to get a fangum in there. Give me the fangum. You don't need that fangum in there. Give me that. Give me that fangum. He said, I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you.
Alright, well, it's only 8:30. I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna take him to Peppa-Doo, because we obviously need to start a new stream if we're gonna play some Sons of the Forest. And, yeah. And then I'll come back and we'll start the live stream back up and we'll play a little bit of Sons of the Forest. I ain't played in a while, and I'm actually kind of excited to play. Also, I want to pick up that game before I forget. Hold on. I'm gonna buy that jank real quick. The Ghost of a Tale. I actually like that. We'll have to play that one day. And $1.99 is super cheap. It's super duper duper cheap. Super duper cheap, cheapy cheap, cheapy cheap. Man, why do I gotta go through all this just to make a purchase? I'm so sick of this crap. Like, I gotta put in my freaking security code and like, what's the point in putting all this information in if I gotta reconfirm it every single time I make a purchase? Every single damn time. Every single damn time. Alright. I'll see you guys in like 15, 20 minutes, and we're going to hop on. We're going to do some Sons of the Forest.